Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and this is The Real, episode 268 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast.
GG! We're gonna have to think about ways of changing this intro at some point. I feel like it has become
268 episodes.
When it goes exactly the same, like, well, you know what? Except the first one. I think the first one went like this, like, yeah, man. So
yeah,
they announced the Switch, and I think Nintendo has lost it. I think they're gonna fail. I think this is their last console. Back to you.
I remember.
Oh shit! I'm late for work.
The rapper too. That's the other thing. The rappers were all over.
Oh, the rapper!
How do we get the rapper out of the freaking audio? Oh my god!
That's right. It was. Yeah. I was eating my murder burgers.
Yes. Oh my god! You know, I kind of miss those murder burgers. I'm not gonna lie. They're they're solid 2.0. Also, you know, they'll get you there,
they are solid. Oh, dude, don't get me started, bro. I just had the blandest, most disappointing chimichangas I have ever had the displeasure of putting in my mouth. I easily rate them a 1.5, and I'm being very, very generous because I'm not hungry anymore. You know what I think that it's like the subsistence thing that they give you. It's like the protein bar that they give you so you don't die.
Oh, like rations.
The rations, yes.
Oh god,
exactly. Except that I imagine that the rations being a little bit more seasoned or something, or at least that's the. I've never had rations in my life. Not in the military. I would love to try, but
I would not love to try it. I've never had it, but I have. I know. I see my brother-in-law's in the military. My dad's in the military. I have got a. The consensus is no, you don't want that. You know,
come on. I mean,
from what I've
have gathered. So many. Yes, people. You know military people. You could probably. I mean, you need to stock up because you know
the end of the world is right.
The revolution is happening. You know.
Yes, we need rations. Yes,
we need rations. Yeah, and water.
About that, yeah,
a lot of water.
That voice, of course, is Mr. David Santos, aka Dream Twister. Sir,
preparing us for the apocalypse.
I'm so sorry about your chimichanga. It is very disappointing. You know, I had a similar thing last week. I don't remember what it was, but I don't care to remember either. So, but I had a similar thing. I was like, this really wasn't. Really wasn't.
The disappointment, and here's this is the fundamental problem with me when it comes to food and other life choices.
Not just food.
I don't want to be disappointed. If I already know that something's good, like I don't get too adventurous if I have the opportunity to do something and it's something that I know is fun or I'm going to eat something and I know, let's go, I'm going to a restaurant and I know that I like something from a restaurant. I know the plate that I have that is good. And then there might be a bunch of other offerings out there, but I know this plate is good. So I don't want to risk it because if I risk it, if I take a chance, it'll feel like I'm investing in the stocks. You know, I could hit big, but I could also like lose some of my money. In this case, I'll feel like I'll be wasting money in something that did not fulfill me as much as the plate that I'm already used to eating and that I like and that I always order. So
fair enough.
And to be
comfort food. That's what it is.
Well, and this is what it was. It wasn't anything extraordinary. I mean, it was fucking chimichangas from the freezer. So it's not. Believe me when I tell you, I already have my expectations checked. But I knew the brand, I knew the flavor of them, and I know that it's not gonna score high on anybody's radar. It's just, hey, this tastes good. This is salty probably, or spicy somehow, or I don't know, something, and it's gonna work. But this time I chose the same brand, but a different thing. I think it was like beans and cheese and no meat, because I didn't see any meat on that thing. It was weird, but I was like, okay, fine, I'll just grab this one. I can't find the other one, and I don't, probably is better than nothing. Well, I'm here to tell you that nothing was better. I should have gone for nothing.
Let me see here. Frozen chimichanga it wasn't El Monterey, was it?
It probably was Monterey. Now that I think about it, yeah. It could have been. They're not sad. Big.
Those are
sad. Yeah, those are. Yeah.
They have what? We have actually a few. We don't have the chimichanga. We have a few of the burritos. I think it's burritos. Yeah, the burrito ones, which are not burritos because they're like the size of my thumb. I'm like, that's not what a burrito is, guys. But whatever. The packages call it burrito, so we'll go with that.
Sure.
Yeah, and so spicy jalapeno bean and cheese chimichanga. That's probably what you had. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Is it orange?
Yes.
Orange.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly what it is. You nailed it, bro. Okay, no, and then I probably had the sad burrito. That's what I gotta call it, the depressing burrito.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know why it is, but I do, and you know what? I
do like to experiment.
I do, but I can understand the letdown. Which is why when I experiment, I tend to be very selective nowadays with what I experiment with. One and two. I am, well, to an extent, I'm selective. But at the other end of the spectrum, it's like, well, I have gotten to the point where I could just kind of put anything in my mouth, and nothing's gonna really make me gag or anything like that. So I'm like, whatever, just bring it in, and for the most part, I, discover something cool. But occasionally, yeah, that happens. Occasionally it happens where you're like,
eventually something's gonna taste like peanuts, and then you're gonna be like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah, and the good thing is I still eat it. I'm a huge how do I say it? Supportive. Hey, it's food. It's been given to me. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm gonna eat it. But I will not order it again if I don't care for it. You know what I mean? So, but it's one of those things. It's like, hey, it's good. But that's how I've discovered some really cool stuff that no one would touch. You know what I mean? Or not no one, but you know what I mean? Few people would even venture towards. And it's just like, yeah, but man, you don't know. I mean, it's one. I don't know. It's like discovering that gem, and the sad part is, you have to deal with the coals before you get to the job. You know what I mean? And that happens. So it's sad.
Like that's some good dating advice right there.
I guess in some circles, that would be considered good dating advice. Anyway, I shared my food, and I don't think you've seen it yet, but again, I don't think you're going to be into it anyway. So it's going to be so not a David
It's going to have scallops, so probably, or some sort of fish, or fishes, or
I will let you
some crustaceans.
Stumble upon it yourself, and I expect to get a huge nope.
All right. I am pulling the Facebooks now. Is it Facebook or is it?
It's it carried over to Facebook because I always do Instagram and it just carries to Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. None of that looks cooked. First of all,
none of it is. Well, that's not true. The very first.
And second, is in the title. It says "wonderful fish." It's like a nope casserole to me to give me that.
Oh my god, it would be so funny one day if because we still plan to go to Japan at some point. So for the record, I hosted a chirashi dan, which is a bowl of raw fish atop a bed of rice.
So I was not wrong.
No, not wrong at all. The only thing that's cooked is the item, and the closest to the
plate
left is like, it looks like a brown, maybe a brown piece of fish. That's actually eel, and eel's baked. So that's the only cooked item.
Oh,
everything else is
fantastic. You want to go ahead and throw some olives in there also while you're at it, you sicko?
Oh God, no, that would not go with that. But no, I honestly look forward to the day, because we're still planning to go to Japan, and since we never got a chance to go, and at the time you couldn't, you were planning to, and you couldn't because of the whole buying of the house.
The whole buying a house thing.
yeah, that whole fiasco you had going with buying a house,
freaking house that I had to buy. It kind of put a damper on my vacation.
That's
you know,
what I'm saying. Well, fine.
I had to go. It had to be at that time also, right? Yeah. You know, and I already had a plan.
I've only been planning that for 2 years, but okay, fine.
Exactly.
Yeah,
freaking house got in the way.
Buy a house, fine. Anyway, I look forward to the day when we're in a little shop. and we go to
we're gonna stream it. We're gonna stream it.
It's so happy. We go to a spot and we order something, and you order something that I just picture it. You're gonna order something that, well, this clearly has meat, so we're gonna go with this. It's gonna be the just left the most left field item, and I'm just gonna die. I'm like, this is the food equivalent of the Raging Uncle right here. That's what it is.
I'm gonna be like, with a translator, of course. Excuse me. I believe I ordered the miso soup. So there's a fish head in this thing. I want to speak to the manager.
Oh my God, sir! For a manager in Japan, I am not. I will leave. I'm like, look, I will pay for all their meals, but I need to walk out of this place right now.
There is a fish head in my miso soup.
The first thing the guy, but sir, it's a delicacy.
This is an international offense. Wars have been started over this.
Oh my God.
Of course, I will never be like that, because I'm too nice. So
I know, which is the funny part, because I would be like, okay, so he's gonna stick to just the broth as much as possible. That's what he's gonna do,
and as far as away from the head as possible. It's like, oh, how cute! They put a fake fish head in there. That's not. Oh, that's real. We're gonna be like, shh. Nope.
No,
it's fake.
Not in my head.
It's fake.
Yeah,
it's fake.
As far as I'm concerned. Oh my God! I look forward to that day, sir. For the record,
yes,
I cannot wait. I don't care if we're like 60 years old when that shit happens. I am
we're gonna stream it
for real. That shit's happening. Oh my God!
Oh my God! How many dates did I went back in my days and completely ruin the experience by trying to impress someone by ordering like whatever was it that was in the menu that looked fancy, and it was horrible. It was horrible. I will not pay attention to whoever it was, because I'll be concentrated on trying not to throw up.
Oh my God! That's great. That is great.
Oh man.
So anyway, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in and listening to our crazy stories.
And many more to come.
Yeah, for sure. If this is your first time listening, first off, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. It takes you right to our Facebook group. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast on any of the services that you are listening to us on. What we normally do, guys, is first we go into what we have been up to, move on into some various news items, and then we finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic, it is E3 2021, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Part 2.
Part 2. We ran out of time the first time, so we're dividing it into 2.
That massive, guys. The good thing is that the second half isn't that massive. We do have Nintendo I do want to bring up a couple indies because they did show them off at the indie showcase, which I did post a video on the YouTube channel as well with my top 10 indies.
Oh yes,
and
that is quite a video. You guys should check it out.
Thank you, sir. And on top of that, we're going to go into our favorite moments. Who won E3, which I think is pretty obvious. But,
we're not gonna say.
Yeah, we won't spoil it here. It rhymes with Microsoft. Anyway. So let's go.
Take two? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, shit.
Oh, nailed it. Let's go ahead and start the show with what we have been up to. Sir, what have you been doing?
Oh, man. Not a whole lot, to be honest with you. It was a weird week. I'll tell you why. I was having my fun with Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've already spoken, and you guys already know about that game that got released. Big game from Square Enix. And for some reason, like, Tuesday came in, and I hit a lull where I just didn't want to play games anymore. But I was not worried, because it was not like other times where I would start worrying, like, oh my God, I lost my fun. I lost the last thing. I might as well just die now, because, I'm having no fun with games. But no, it was nothing like that. It was more like, I just want to try something different. And I just want to, let's just try, let's just do something else that is not gaming related. And that's what I ended up doing. I mean, I'm not going to say why, because it's probably too boring and too techy and nerdy and stupid. But I think I didn't play much games. I did, however, went back and test and replayed Rift Breakers, which I believe I spoke about it last week. Maybe.
What was the name again?
The Rift Breaker demo.
Oh, Rift Breaker.
Okay. I suddenly had an inkling to play that again, because I was like, you know what, this game has something special. It wasn't like all that or anything, but it was a little bit weird with the controls. I told you that the presentation looked fine and whatever, but for some reason they wanted to make everything on that game, which is a top down. How would I even describe it? Because it's part of it is base building, part of it is tower defense, and another part of it is kind of like ARPG, action RPG. Mm-hmm. So it kind of meld those gameplay elements, well enough. You are piloting this mech, and with your mech you are building your base. You land on this location and you're building your base together. You're defending it against like a massive horde of enemies that come in. So you're building towers and infrastructure, and that's where the tower defense portion comes in. And it was really fun, but you couldn't play very well with keyboard and mouse. I felt like the game was being tailored more towards playing with a gamepad. Mm-hmm. Which kind of annoyed me a little bit, because the controller on the gamepad, like, there were some weird choices made on how to control it. But no, I the second time, like, I must have, like, what do you call that, muscle memory or something? It's like the second time I went in, it just felt natural. It felt very natural. I did a whole lot better. Of course, it's a demo. So it only has one level, which is kind of like the tutorial, and you are meant to lose on that level. Yeah, at one point, it increases the difficulty to a point where, with the resources that you have and the stuff that you have constructed, there's no way to stop this horde. It's mostly like the game's way of showing you what it could do. Like, look at all the battles.
Yeah, part of showing you what you do is, hey, this is what happens when you lose. So,
it's like, hey, we're gonna look at all the enemies that we get to put on screen, and I mean, that's a lot. And this game is coming to consoles, and I am gonna say I have this now on my radar. Like it's officially cemented. Like the first time I was like, okay, this looks good. I need to play a little bit more. What I played of it, I enjoyed quite a bit, and yeah, I definitely want to see more. Of course, the game's it's not getting released until probably closer to the fourth quarter of the year, or maybe the third quarter, maybe September. I don't remember now. It's over my head. But oh yeah, no, because it only says fall 2021, so that's why the developers don't even know when. But there's a demo out there, and I want to say there's a demo on Xbox also. You guys should definitely check it out. It's called the Rift Breaker, or the Rift Breaker demo in this case.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I play before I get to my surprise game that I got that just fell into my into my hands like out of nowhere? It's like, boop, nope. You own this game now, and you're gonna play it. Damn it!
Like it or not.
Like it or not. No, so I'm trying to remember. Oh no, the other stuff was like Doom Eternal. Like I started playing Doom Eternal, the DLC, that DLC that I started playing, and then it got kind of like messed up at one point on like my computer. It will like completely slow down on an area. I guess they fixed that now because I didn't encounter that problem again. But man, I had to turn the difficulty down on that one because I didn't remember. Like I feel sluggish. Really? Part of it feels sluggish. I don't know. That game was. I mean, I was playing it on the next harder difficulty. Mm-hmm. The first time I beat it, and then so I figured, okay, let me play the DLC like that, and I started playing the DLC, and the DLC is even a lot tougher. So, and then I had that problem, and I had to stop. And now I picked it up again, and dude, I was getting my ass handed to me. And I was like, nope. If I want to play this game, I'm gonna have to humble the fuck down and just take it for what it is. And it was still difficult, so I was like, okay. I'll continue. This is all the while. This is while I'm putting Final Fantasy VII R in a short hiatus. I'm gonna pick it up again because I was enjoying that one, but for some reason I just didn't want to play it. I got Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
What?
The Game of the Year edition, no less, also. I don't know what the Game of the Year edition includes because I don't remember that game. Did that game have DLC or something?
Well, I don't know what they call it. It's a From Software game, and From Software always has DLC with their stuff. So it's yeah.
So it's probably that. Okay. All right. So I got what was it that we were calling it? Parry the video game, which Mr. Mad Dog actually gifted me for my birthday. Oh yeah, by the way, my birthday was this week.
Happy level up day, sir.
Thank you. I didn't do anything because it was in the middle of the freaking week. I was like, okay, I'll do something in the weekend. So anyway, but I was graced with happy birthday. Here's the worst game that you could possibly have. It includes parrying, fishing, and probably some horseback riding also. With lots of fuck you.
Yeah.
Mad Dog.
It was definitely, because, and I think I mentioned it in my little blurb that,
it was a choice.
Yeah, it was, so you're not into the frou-frou, but here. Yeah, I'm gonna give you.
Yes, exactly. You're like, here, this is all the time you have made fun of my games. You want action? I'll give you fucking action. Here, play this. Parry your life away, mother. Oh my god! But what can I say about Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice?
You beat it. Oh no.
I didn't beat it. I literally had to stop myself from continuing playing because I was just having way too much fun with it, and I was like, I can't start playing this game in the middle of another one that I'm playing. But I really dug it. I didn't play a lot, so of course I haven't gotten to the part where it gets fucking frustrating and I'm gonna be like, fuck this, fuck you, Mad Dog, god damn
it. I expect a random message just in the middle of the night.
Oh, at some point at 3 a.m, I'll probably be like, I don't care if you're sleeping. These are the 10 reasons I hate this game. But thank you. No, it feels, it's weird because I play, obviously, Souls games, and I've played, what was that other, the other game that starts with an O, is it with an O? No, I don't remember.
I don't know.
It's another Asian inspired. Everybody calls it this.
Neo.
Neo. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, I don't remember. It starts with an O. It starts with an N. Ends with an H. But whatever. Neo. And Neo felt like a very actiony Dark Souls. And Dark Souls is obviously slower and more meticulous, and your movements. You kind of well, I don't have to describe it. You guys already know what that type of game is. Sekiro so far has been kind of in between for me, but I'm very early, so I don't know which way is gonna skew. So this is just like super early impressions of the first, I don't know, 2 hours maybe or something like that, 3 hours. Who knows? But what I really like is, particularly what I like with games like Ghost of Tsushima, which is an entirely very different type of game. But what I like is that the fighting is not like, it doesn't feel, it's not button mashy. Although Ghost of Tsushima is certainly a lot more button mashy. Over here, it feels like I need to plan. I need to see, first of all, what type of attacks this enemy does. And I honestly need to have patience because a lot of the way that you kill these enemies is by doing those I forgot what they call it, but the real hardcore attacks where it knocks down a portion of their, like a blip of their life. Like some stronger enemies have their life bar, but also they have like some blips on the top, which is you can only get knocked down if you perform this like killer moves. Help me out here, bro. I don't remember what they were called.
I'm trying to remember the killer moves. Because I don't remember that. I know that they had these little blips. The blips were there, like if there was a dot, then that means that health bar is not their only health bar.
Right, right.
So, and the way you can obviously wither them down by striking them, but that takes much longer. The method to wither them down a lot faster, and when I mean a lot faster, I mean a lot faster, is to parry. Because parrying will knock them into sort of when you get a good parry and you've knocked them back, you're able to really go in with the kill shot.
Right.
So basically, someone has
that's a good name. Let's call it kill shot. I don't remember what it is, but yeah.
And if someone has a dot, basically you're going to have to do it twice. So that first one is going to hit them, but then they're going. There's a it's going to happen. It's happening again. So you're going to have to do it again. But I don't remember any special. I mean, there are some special moves, but nothing that I recall being.
No,
like a finisher or anything like that. Yeah,
I'm probably referring to that. To that. And I want to say the game almost calls them like finishers, but it's not really like, not in the sense that, okay, this will like one shot them, more like, okay, this will damage them, enough, and like you said, take away one of the bips of life that they have, one of the dots that they have.
Yeah.
The controls feel a little finicky. I noticed that, like, I kind of have to get used to it still, but not in any major game breaking way. Also, for some reason, I feel like some of the button choices that they made also feel a little weird. Like, I have a button that I have to press every time I want to grab onto something. It feels, I mean, again, not game breaker or anything like that. But it feels unnecessary.
Yeah.
Well, at one point, you're gonna get used to it and gonna be fine. Correct, because it's gonna feel like, well, I'm actually making this action happen. It's not getting automated. I don't want it to be like some games will make it way too automated. Like, I felt that with the Uncharted games, with the Uncharted game where you were climbing, especially, like, it just feels like all I have to do is just move the thumbstick, and it just does everything. And like, I don't want it to be, like that. But yeah, they at first it felt like, oh shit, I forgot. I jumped and double jumped, and I forgot to press the grabby button.
Okay, now I know what you mean. Okay. Yeah. Yes, you do have to grab.
Yeah, I have to grab.
It's a lesson you learn pretty early on.
Yes.
Like, oh shit!
Very early, I learned it. Yeah. And it was funny also because, you first start that game, and I guess you start in, like, you're hurt already. You have very low bar because he's supposed to introduce the, take some medicine and activate it, and recoup some of your life back, and now get in the game. And I've forgotten to do that because I was paying attention to the story, because I had, like, the game defaults to the Japanese. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was trying to read while I saw the action, and I completely forgot they taught me how to use my potions, and I didn't take my potion. So the very first weekly enemy, like super weakling that appears, I think he was like a peasant or something, and
he was just angry because you were in the air. He wasn't even.
Yeah, he just swing his fucking wooden stick or whatever, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be like this, like, badass samurai legend, and like, I just get one shot by this peasant. And I was like, well, he was rusty. Apparently he has been in that jail for so long, they don't even bother closing the door or anything because he's not moving. And it's like, okay, all right, Sekiro, you got me. And then there were some areas where I was a little confused where I had to go. Like, at one point I was like, I went, because I wanted to explore. So I went down to an area to the lowest area of the level, let's just call it, okay, of the first area of area of the game. And I couldn't figure out how to get back up so that I could get back on track. So I spent a decent amount of time, like, just walking around, killing crocodiles or whatever the hell was it that it was attacking me. And I was like, okay, all right. That's fine. I'm sure I'm missing something, and the game didn't just crash on me or anything. Because I'll play on PC. If I didn't make mention of that. My dog got me the Steam version, and at first I loaded it in, and I was very impressed with the amount of options that you have that you can tweak. It's not that it's anything like super crazy or anything like that, but it was usually with bad ports that I've seen, especially when it comes to From Software games. I was pleasantly surprised to see that this one had, not only did it have a lot of things that you can, like, tweak, because not everybody has the same type of PC. So some people might not have a PC strong enough to run it at the highest level, so they have to tweak a little bit. So not only have that, but it also had the option of, well, if I want to change everything to max, just move this section that says, max here on top, like everything. And that's the only thing I need to do. And the game runs wonderful. Nice. It feels very, very light in the sense of like things load fast. And I don't even have this installed on a hard drive or an SSD or anything like that. No, I have it installed on a network attached storage device that I have in the closet that I use to like archive stuff or put a bunch of Steam games, because the Steam library was getting. If I were to install everything that I have on Steam right now, it will not fit on my hard drive. So I make space on that on that server to just store those games, and some of them run very well, some of them not so much, because it has to go through a connect through the network to be able to basically read the game. But it felt very fast. Like everything loaded very, very quickly. The controllers, like I said, it felt a little finicky at first, but I can get used to it. And the fighting also felt really good. The grappling is phenomenal. I love that. Yeah. Oh my god! I was like, oh yes, this was Tenchu, right? Mm-hmm. This was the game that was supposed to be Tenchu. Yep. That's what it is. That's how it feels, and it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. So
2019 again, the Game Awards Game of the Year 2019. Yeah.
That this was yes. I can see why. It looks like there's a very interesting backstory here, and it's all very well and nice presented. I'm definitely gonna give it a go, and I mean I don't like parrying on video games. I think I mentioned that, and I should change my tune. It's not that I hate it or anything like that. It is a very valid type of gameplay mechanic, design. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's a game. It's a proper game mechanic, and there are games where they actually make it fun. And I was having fun with what I played so far. But I also remember seeing videos from later on, or the playthroughs that Sparrow Wolf had on some boss fights, and you also posted a couple of boss fights where it was just, when I looked at it, I was like, yep, I'm not going to be able to pull that shit up because I don't have that coordination. I'm not that twitchy, It looks difficult. It looks annoying. I am never going to play this game. And now I'm so glad that I am.
Well, me too. Actually, so all joking aside, it was one of those things where, okay, so he's played, Ghost of Tsushima. And I know Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro are two completely different games, for the record. The only thing they share is that they happen in Japan somewhere. You know what I mean? Other than that, they don't have anything else. But it was the combat of Ghost of Tsushima that I did enjoy, and it does include parrying. You don't need to parry, but it does include parrying, and it makes the game much. It makes the game feel much better. And I remember
tactical.
And I remember going into Ghost of Tsushima, and like early on, because I don't think, if I remember correctly, I don't think the parry button is the R1 in Ghost of Tsushima. I don't recall right now, but or the L1. The L1 is the parry in Sekiro, if I remember correctly. And anyway, my point is to say, the gameplay, immediately I started trying to parry the way I did in it was this strange like, I don't know, ingrained thing that I didn't realize was even ingrained in me until I started playing Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm going, why am I pressing this button to freaking, and that's what I remember. I was like, oh shit, that's where I was doing with Sekiro, and dude, in Sekiro it's like this. I mean, I don't want to like freak you out or anything, but whenever I was doing, I was like like it was this how do I say, it was just this involuntary reaction to just whenever I see someone got close to me, it's like click, I was already hitting the button, click, because I was expecting the hit to come my way. And sometimes, because when you do it, you're actually blocking. So if you hold it, you're blocking. But you just click it once, he just does this quick little, you know what I mean? And that's the parry. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. So I was like, okay, he's finished Ghost of Tsushima. I know your experience with Ghost of Tsushima wasn't the same as mine for whatever reason. And so I was like, you know what? I think this would be cool. And then I happened to see it. And I was like, okay, well, let me grab from here and I'm like, if I, it's one of those things, if I don't literally hand it to him, I don't think he will ever touch this game. So
it was not on my radar. I mean, at that point, it was already past, how many years already passed? And sure, I mean, if I would have seen it at a ridiculous deal, I probably would have grabbed it. But it was getting more likely and more likely the more time passed.
Correct. Yeah.
So I'm glad that you shoved it in my face. Like, no, here.
Play this, damn it.
Play this, damn it. Exactly. Yeah. You're gonna like it.
I honestly don't expect you to finish the game. Not that you can't. I just feel like at some point you're probably I feel like at some point you're probably just gonna get tired of it, which is fine. I mean, but I also have this like small little hope, like, man, I just hope the claws get in him and it just, you know what? I'm going to figure out this parry. Even if I don't finish this game, I'm going to really figure out this parry. And yeah, so that's my hope, no pressure. Like I said, it's whatever you want to, play it for as long as you feel comfortable doing so.
Well, you did it also. You beat this game, right?
I did not. I made it pretty deep into it. I won't spoil where I went to. I made it pretty deep into it, but like that. Now that you mention that, the thought of the game literally had me re-download Sekiro. So I have it's downloaded into my PlayStation 5, which I heard the PlayStation 5 has. There's upgrades to the game, so I'm like, oh, thank God.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, all right.
So now I'm even more like, oh, I want to play this game.
Was that game 30? Was that game 30?
It was 30 on yeah.
It was 30.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Prepare for some
now if
finicky.
From Software can freaking well, no, it was 30 on. I didn't try it on PlayStation 5. I was saying it was 30 on PlayStation 4.
Right.
Yeah. So on PlayStation 5, it's apparently supposed to. So we got to.
I mean, I would expect it to be 60. Yeah.
It better be 60. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. This is 60. I mean, this is whatever it is, but I don't know if it's locked or not. But it is definitely.
It's definitely fluid. Yeah. Sadly, of course, Bloodborne has never received an update for whatever reason. I'm gonna need you to get on that shit by now.
They need to. You know what? Somehow, I don't know how. And you might have seen this also, but there was a Digital Foundry where they show that game running at 60 frames per second.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yep. On the PS4 Pro, if I'm not mistaken.
Video, But somebody had to actually like somebody,
it was very hacky.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody made that happen as opposed to from.
Yes, exactly.
Someone can do it from. You don't even have to do it. Let them do it. You know what I mean? Just hire them real quick to get them to figure that shit out and oh god, yeah. And it looked good. I did see that video from Digital Foundry, and I was like,
it makes you like really wish that game was it's happening. They're doing the remaster at some point. Sure. It's gonna happen.
It's just weird that, like I said, Dark Souls 3. And Dark Souls 1, to be fair. I don't know about 2. I'm sure it did too, but I don't know about 2. They all have 60 frames a second now. You can when you play them on PlayStation 5, and Sekiro is another one. And it's just like, well, what the fuck is wrong with Bloodborne? I understand, guys. Why is that one being left out? I don't get it.
I know. But yeah, other that was actually. That was actually my gaming for the most part. I played something else, but I'm sure I'm not remembering. It's probably because it was something small. Like I was fiddling with Star Wars Battlefront 2 for a little bit, and it was because I was testing how fast were some nerdy upgrades that I did on my server. Like I told you, I did a lot more less gaming and a lot more like
server
IT dumb stuff. But I did play it a little bit, and I was like, oh man, this could have been something if you wouldn't have fucked it up, EA. This could have been something special. And for all intended purposes, it probably is right now, but it's like
it's too late.
Too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
It's too late. And I don't care about playing that single player at all. But I will actually let you, Mad Dog, know, and hopefully people that have that listen to this early enough is probably still be on sale. But the Jedi Fallen Order, I believe it's $12 right now on PSN.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. Let me read that again. It's $12 Go grab it. Like I tagged you and you said nothing. I tag this guy Gilberto, and like he immediately was like, done.
Oh, really? Okay.
Done. That game is good. That game is not shit. I know it's EA, whatever. You're still sticking. I mean, you bought Mass Effect, so that thing is over already. You're free. You're free to buy games again,
sir. I feel a little bit. How do I say this? Led on. This is not $12, my friend. This is $13.19. That's
wait, what? Yeah. No, it was $12.
Well, I'm looking right now. It says $13.19.
What? Yeah. No, maybe you missed the early bird special. Then did you miss the early bird special?
This is the deluxe upgrade. Wait.
Whoa! Wow! Upgrade. Whoa! What?
Wait, deluxe upgrade. What the fuck is the deluxe upgrade?
It is
that's $10 for the deluxe upgrade. I don't want that shit.
Oh, you know what? It might be unreliable narrator if it's more because Armando from the group was the one that posted it. He said 13. Okay. So which still is a ridiculously good price for that game.
Still at the moment is $40 basically, $39.
That game is great. That game is good. That game is that game's great. I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, not too over whatever, it's not that
whatever.
It's not gonna be the best. I'm not saying it's game of the year. I'm saying it's time well spent. Especially if you need like I want to play something different kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to play something like Dark Souls, but not have the difficulty of Dark Souls. I don't know who said that. I don't know who will say that. Yeah, I'm probably. Yeah, exactly. I'll be probably like, yeah, I want to play Dark Souls, but I just don't want to deal with the difficulty of it. So instead of playing it on easy, I'd rather not play it. I was like, nope. I don't want to be the guy that played the game on easy. Not that there's anything wrong with that, mind you.
Not that there's an easy mode in Dark Souls either, but
not that there's any, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe there should be. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Sparrow. I'm kidding. It was a joke. All right. It was a joke, bro.
That ongoing argument, dear Lord.
I still believe that they should be for what was the game that we kept talking about?
The
Cuphead.
Is that the one? Okay, Cuphead. I guess
it was Cuphead. Well, that was the one that started it because I was like, yeah, but the animation portion of it lends itself towards a game that could be enjoyed by kids. So why not put an easier version for those of us who don't want to play a ridiculously hard challenge? And he got all mad. It's like, well, not all mad, but he defended his position very well. It's like, well, you don't want to give everything to everyone away and whatever. And I was like, well, what's wrong with choices and yada yada. But like, I see his point. Honestly, I don't want all my games to have the win button.
Yeah,
that's not what I'm advocating for. So,
I agree.
Yeah, Mad Shadow and Love.
Yes.
for Sparrow.
To Sparrow.
We need to have IQ. I always like my dream podcast will be the GG podcast where we have him. Just like
Well,
guest
it's
starting.
happening. It's happening. I'm telling you, it's happening.
Is it happening?
It's happening.
Is it happening?
It's happening. Yeah.
Do I have to give up my seat?
It
will be too much awesomeness.
I mean, yes, that is true.
I will honor. It'll be my honor to have him take my seat, because that'll be better for me. Because it'll be a new episode that I've never heard of. Because I wasn't part of it.
That makes perfect sense. I like that.
So there you go. Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, I'm rambling too much. I didn't play anything else, so you can take it away, bad dog.
Oh, okay. So I mean, the only thing I have played, and I have
Lucky. You need to watch Lucky. So go ahead.
Lucky or Luca?
Yeah, Luca.
Okay.
Loki.
It's on the list.
Loki. No,
Yeah.
I was talking about Loki.
Oh, Loki. Okay.
Yeah, they're talking Loki. You sounded like Lucky.
Yeah.
Tonight might be your Loki night.
It might be, but I still have to finish a particular show that we're watching before I start.
Okay. Fine.
There are rules, sir. There are rules.
Yes. I realize the stringent method of entertainment that you do on the clock, on a very strict schedule.
It is, unfortunately. It is, but
he runs a tight ship at the Casa de Martin hotel and grill.
I mean, not always me. I'm saying that we have a first mate that does the same thing. So.
Oh, that's right. Yes. That's right.
So
the Pirate Queen. Sorry.
No, the only so I was playing Mass Effect. I was in the middle of Mass Effect 2. I got pretty deep into Mass Effect 2. I basically had, really deep. I had almost all the characters. I have probably 5 or 6 of them already loyal mission. I already did a loyalty mission, got them loyal.
Okay.
And
that's right, because you need to. Otherwise, they die or something, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know the mechanics in the background, but I do know that yes, the more you have, and the more that are loyal, the more likelihood everybody makes it, or at least majority of people make it.
Something like that. Yeah.
What I remember from the last mission is that you have to be able to put people in the right place to go the right place to do the right part of the mission, right? So you know your team well enough. Obviously, you're not going to send. I don't know. You're not going to send freaking. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a character. Well, she's not. She's there, but she's not one of the characters.
I'm just trying
to
help
send Grunt, for instance, to handle the
to seduce
no. No, what I'm saying, you're not going to make him be the one that he has to hack into something. It's like that's not what he's there for. You know what I'm saying? So you want to obviously put the right person away, and depending on who if you do it correctly, you should be able to make it up. But anyway, my point is that it just started to feel too much like a chore. It started to feel like I'm just doing the I'm in the motions at this point. Just going through the motions. Right. I already know.
Like you're seeing all this already.
Yeah. And I mean, there's some stuff that I have forgotten, and when I see it, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I forgot about that. And the crazy part, I had just finished the Overlord mission, which is probably one of the coolest missions in Mass Effect 2. And it was actually a DLC, so it wasn't even.
Oh, that was a DLC. Oh, yeah, I love
Overlord one.
One of my favorite DLCs. One of the yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it still holds. It still will hold the title compared to what's new. But I remember really like it. Like, dude, it
was excellent, dude. It was
very well done.
It was a mission. I mean, in essence, it had like a 1 to 3-parter essentially, or 4-parter actually, because you get there for a distress signal or something like that, and then you meet this doctor, and the doctor's like, oh, we had a patient who we try to meld them with the Geth so he can, so that we can understand and control the Geth and all this stuff. So now you're going through the area to open up, to eliminate the threat and all that. One of them is actually a Geth ship, and the Geth ship is actually the coolest because the music on that is the best. And secondly, it feels like almost Dead Space like, because you're going through the entire ship because you got to get to a certain point to unlock something. And you're passing a bunch of Geth that are knocked out on the floor. I think I probably knew it the first time. I definitely knew it this. I was like, okay, that's right. These guys are going to get up when I'm trying to leave. You know what I mean? And it is the music. It's cool. It's just really good. And of course, you get to the end. You see the brother. You understand the craziness that they put him through to try to, because he was
It was a very, like, it reminded me of the Lawnmower Man.
Yes.
It was very Lawnmower Man. And it was
really good. And it's funny, playing it again, I was just like, man, this is really good. I remember this being great. Then I had to go back and I started to go to the other missions. I was like, oh, it's not going to get better than that, is it?
No, the DLCs are usually
again, that was a DLC. So I'm playing the story, but all those DLC things can be played throughout the story. You know, basically become available. And and I'm just like, man, it was like such a shame, because I think the Shadow Broker's the other one, and I remember that one being cool and all, but I was like, I'm not ready to do that one just yet. And I have
too quick,
a few of the other ones, and I'm like, and then you have the rest of these loyalty missions. I'm just like, I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I don't want to play this anymore. This is I've done this twice. You know what I mean? Yes, this looks a lot prettier than the first two times, but other than that, it's still really the same game, and it's so much longer. Because
of all the DLC in Mass Effect 2 was already a long ass game.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to honestly, I do have to give them credit in, like, a lot of things that they did, a lot of things that happened in the background on that game. We took for granted, right? Your Shepard, and the story that you have, but there was a lot of things in the background that a lot of people didn't realize that were actually based on your choices from before, or whatever happened before. And the ones in particular I'm remembering more of the third one, because the third one, obviously, is the one that is wrapping stuff up. But I remember that. So that I romanced Jack on my
second.
I'm gonna call it on my canon playthrough of Mass Effect, and on Mass Effect 3, because I guess I hadn't grasped the concept of everything's on a timer very much. Unfortunately, there was a mission that, like, she was I guess a teacher at an academy. That is, an instructor. Yeah, if she survives the suicidal mission of the second one, of course. And there was a mission where I needed to, go and help her, because they were going to be under an imminent attack from not the Geth, but the Reapers. The Reapers, right? The Reapers. If I remember correctly. Anyway, the thing is, the bad guys. The thing is that I didn't, and I lost the academy, and obviously Jack in it. So there's a section on that game later on, like much later on that mission, where if she was like if she gets if you don't rescue her, I guess she gets assimilated by the Reapers, and then suddenly she comes later on, and she is one of the it's not like a boss fight or anything like that, but one of the enemies that come at you. Suddenly you have a special enemy that is like incredibly difficult, like this incredibly difficult to kill biotic, and then you realize, like, oh shit, you are actually fighting her. This is her, and then it identifies her, identifies her as Jack, and it's like, oh shit, like. But once I realized who I had killed, I was like, oh my god! The only thing I regretted was that I felt like the character should, knowing my selections, maybe should have been like something special should have happened
Yeah,
there,
there should be
and
some
like
sort of realization of it. Yeah.
yeah. But and I
But
feel like
that's the
what
that's the biggest issue with a lot of these games that have multiple paths is that
uh-huh.
you have to me, to make that an excellent thing, you have to flesh out all options.
Yeah,
And
flesh.
yeah,
Yeah,
you have to flesh them out. You have to have, because here's the deal: it's like, oh, you can either be bad or go with the bad ending, you go with good, or you go good ending. Good ending's always going to be feel more feel more
canon.
fulfilling. It's going to feel
uh,
like, oh, this was meant to be. And if you choose to
yeah,
do the bad, you end up having this half-ass ending that's not completely fleshed out. It's just because they're
yeah,
like,
I
well,
hate
we
that.
didn't
Yeah,
really want you to go this route. So why
because if
make it a
people
fucking
don't,
option
people,
then? Yeah, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Yeah. So
yeah,
that's why I love one thing I loved about The Witcher 3 is that yes, it's not a bad ending. It's just a not the happiest of endings. You know what I mean? And it's
right,
like, but dude, that was an ending, dude. That was like, I was like,
yeah,
this continued and you know, it had an impactful ending, and I was happy with it. I was like, I mean, I wasn't happy what was going on. I was like, oh, that's sad, you know. But at the same time, I'm like, that's still an ending. I still felt like this was a
right,
fulfilling way to wrap up the story.
yeah,
And yeah, that's the sad part. And that's the sad part with a lot of this here. Is like, you know, you have a lot of characters I kind of want to get to know, but they're not really fleshed out. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
hmm
um, there's two that you can only just converse with. You know what I mean? And you converse with them just by talking. They'll give you 3 lines and then come back later. I'll have more to talk about. You know, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
this is just,
Like
this
this
is
is
just,
not
you guys weren't even. Why even have these conversations? You know what I mean? It's just like, this doesn't make sense. So anyway, there's a long way to say that I stopped playing. I literally uninstalled it. I was like, no, because in my head, honestly, I want to play Dark Souls 3, and I think that's really the next game.
oh
Like, I want to
wow,
jump into Dark Souls. It's just been this
no
thing.
two.
The no, because I mean, my understanding is it's not it's not
It's
from the
a
same guy.
perfectly, it's a perfectly fine game. No reason to be skipping it. You're gonna miss on the story, on the lore.
Oh yes, because we all know the story is where it's at.
The lore is
But
where what you play those games for. Obviously, I don't know about you, but I would have like deep romantic options when I'm playing Dark Souls. Like, what's wrong with that?
yes, so
And a fucking difficulty slider.
so this is not made by the part 2, Dark Souls 2 was not made by the same creative Dark Souls 1, 3, Sekiro, and all this. Not to
So
take
Dark
away
Souls,
from it.
no, but you're basically calling it Dark Souls Tokyo Drift.
Hey, I like Tokyo Drift. I'll have you know.
You're in the minority, evidently.
You're probably right. No, so and again, it's not to take away from what this guy from what they did, because they still created a great game. The reviews and everything definitely, but it did, everywhere I look, everybody's like, oh, but it is a departure from the first one and even the third one. And I'm like, oh, okay, well,
How though?
so there's mechanics that are so there are mechanics introduced in Dark Souls 2 that actually make the game easier. You know what I mean? The
Really?
lore is not really 100% connected to the lore of the first one, so it's just like, okay, so it's
Mhm.
almost like the Final Fantasy thing where it's like, okay, it's still whatever, but we're just we're moving on to
Yeah.
a different whatever. And so part 1 and part 3 feel more connected. There are connections in 2, for the record. I was looking up some of the stuff on it, but overall, that's really what it is. And so because of that, I'm like, well, do I want to spend 20 minutes playing this game? 20 hours playing this game and go, this is not the same,
Probably the first 20 minutes you'll figure it out. You're like,
maybe. Or do I want to just jump to Dark Souls 3? And Dark Souls 3 was a newer console release, and it was a PlayStation 4 game. And obviously it's been up-res for PlayStation 5, so I'm like, I just kind of want to get into, because I don't know if I can go through all of them, you know what I mean?
right.
Plus on top of that, I feel like I need to, I don't know, I just I just want to play the game, and I've literally passed by it every time I see it on the bar because it's downloaded. It's been downloaded for a while, so
Oh, you own it. You have it.
I own it. Yeah, it's in my console.
Mm.
It's been downloaded and installed for at least a couple months now. And I keep passing it, because something easier or maybe easier to digest or smaller, because obviously this is going to be. It's going to be. I don't want to say it's a challenge. It's not. It's not going to be walking apart, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm okay with that. It's almost like that's what I want. I want that. That challenge. I want to. That's why I almost want to just jump back into Sekiro, but I don't even know if I have the same save file. I hope it's saved into the cloud, because otherwise I have to start from the beginning. But even then, at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I probably need to start from the beginning after all this time.
Yeah,
I don't think I could jump to where I'm at.
Especially knowing you also, you're probably not going to just pick it up from where you left off.
But so yeah, that's kind of I didn't play anything else this week. This Mass Effect 2, and I got pretty much as far as I mentioned, and I let it go. And I'm just like, it's just a shame because it is an excellent remake. Or remaster, remaster. So it is an excellent remaster. Credit to the guys at BioWare for really putting together. Even though I didn't really enjoy part 1 that much, part 2 is very good. And I can only imagine part 3 being even more fluid and well designed. But
you'll never find out.
I mean, never say never, but I don't know, bro. I don't know. It was just one of those things like, oh, I just can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. So that's
too much massive. The moment I saw this, like there was a moment there that I was like, man, yes, Mass Effect remaster. But I heard that one's gonna be very different and all that, and then I saw your gameplay, and I was like, okay, well, I'm seeing what they did, and it looks good and all that. But then the more I kept thinking about it, the more I thought it's just way too much Mass Effect. I think I'm gonna play half of the first one until a certain point, and that's gonna be it. And I'm never gonna see 2, and never gonna see 3, especially 2 because I love 2 so much. I played it several times to completion. So I was like, I'm done with it,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like
having better graphics is not gonna be the thing that makes me go back to that game.
And also, believe it or not, in retrospect, there is, how do I say that? There's nostalgia goggles that I remember seeing this game in, and like when you go back to the Citadel or you go to Ilium, you know what I mean? And I'm like, and I'm looking at the area, I'm like, why do I remember this area being bigger? I feel like there was more to this area, and it's not. It's small. It's just like
it was for the type of game at that time.
I mean, it was. Yeah. But in my mind's eye, I remember, I can't wait to go back to the Citadel.
The Citadel,
It's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be this and that. And no, it's a hub, and it's like a small hub. I'm like, oh, man, this is not. In my mind's eye, I remember it being something different, and playing it was a little bit of disappointment where I go, oh gosh, I guess it wasn't that big a deal. You know what I mean? But it's a shame.
It holds, it doesn't. Yeah, like it doesn't really. Like it's still a good game, obviously for its time, but there's just some games that they're not meant to gracefully go, get older. They're a game of their time, and it doesn't matter. Exactly. Mass Effect 1 is one where I saw, like when I saw you play, I remember like, oh, so those corridors look just as barren. It's just higher definition barrenness, like gray,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It'll be different if they were doing a complete remake. That's why I find, and sorry to bring it up again, but that's what I find the thing of Final Fantasy remake so fascinating, because it is an actual remake on every sense of the word, and then some, and then extras.
Yeah.
So almost too much. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, never enough for me. I love that game.
I mean, but it at some point you go, okay, Square Enix, it's almost like they were making up for everything that they've done the last 20 years. And we're gonna,
they did,
so we're gonna remake we're gonna redo the music, we're gonna do the sound effects, we're gonna do the lighting, we're gonna do.
But think about a Mass Effect like that. Think about
so great,
rebooting Mass Effect, and it's just gonna be, it's gonna be to that those graphics, which of course completely I would have never expected that. That was not my expectation when I heard Mass Effect is gonna get a remaster, Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, like, maybe a game like that, it would have pushed you into continue. Maybe you would have been like completely fine. Maybe the Citadel would be huge and all that.
Because it would have been enough of a leap to go, right. I can do that. Yeah. So I mean, it definitely keeps me on the radar, at least for Mass Effect 4, whenever they if they even bring. I mean, they are working on it. They've already mentioned they're working on it. So,
evidently.
So I'm interested in seeing what EA brings in July with their event, to see what they bring up. But anyway, that's really all I've been doing as far as gaming. I did see a couple films. I won't stay too long on these because they're good but not great. The first one I'm gonna do. This is probably the most frou-frou movie I've seen in quite some time.
Wow, and for you to say it like that,
I don't even like saying frou-frou, much less admitting that this one may be that.
So this was probably in French, definitely no. Black and white, and let me see, probably silent also on top of that.
Silent is
but yet it was done in 2019.
Silent is kind of close. So this is so it's called The Wanting Mare. And
even the title, the title is Because As If Where. That's
So what's weird about this is that this is actually a sci-fi. When I remember seeing the trailer,
this is a sci-fi. Okay,
yeah, it's a sci-fi. Yeah,
please continue.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailer. I remember like it was like saying something. This is like the what was the
Citizens Kane?
No, it was like the what is it? The new. Something along like it's like the like a new sci-fi or the new benchmark for sci-fi or something like that. And I was like, okay, that's an exaggeration. I already knew that because I was like, but I did see it was getting a lot of buzz, and it is a low budget film, so I already knew. Okay, it's a low budget film.
Lo-fi.
Gird my loins here, and let's let's take a chill pill. It's probably not going to be Matrix or any of that craziness.
No, let's curb your enthusiasm.
Yeah, exactly. So the way the story essentially is, it is, it's so weird, but it is this future
I know
that doesn't even look like a future, but it's not even a future. It's almost, you're not even sure if it's the same fucking planet. But basically, there's two worlds or two nations, whatever. The one nation has where all the people live, and then that's kind of where they struggle, and this woman gives birth to a child who supposedly has the ability to see goodness. I don't remember exactly. Anyways,
and they offer her a loaf of bread. But what she didn't realize was that it was the loaf of bread meant to symbolize her soul. So it gave her soul back.
Yeah. So the one of the cities called Witherin. I think that's the main city. And the most valuable thing that they have are horses. And so hence the name, right? The Wanting Mare. And so that's the valuable thing. And what they do once a year is collect these horses and send them up to another continent called Leviathan or something like that. And so anyway, that place is almost like Elysium.
Is this a Hideo Kojima game?
It might as well be. That place is supposed to be like almost like Elysium, and it's supposed to be this beautiful whatever, and everyone wants to go there. Everybody tries to get a ticket so they can get there, and that's actually like the most prized possession in that area, to have a ticket for the next ship that goes up there. And it is not good, bro. It's just like, and I'm listening. It's funny because if
Well,
you could look up some of the reviews and stuff like that. And it's just like, uh, guy. So there's, I don't mind films where it's all about metaphors and all this other stuff. I don't mind that when it's done well. And this one, oh, is anything conversation is. I mean, the script may be 10 pages long at most,
holy
right?
shit!
Because there's not a
Wow,
lot being said. You know what I mean? Because everything's being it's showing off stuff. I do like the visual. I'll give
pantomime.
that to it. The visuals are pretty awesome. Not that they're special effects, it's just the way they're shot. Um, you can see this city. It's in the background, but it's always just a bit out of focus. So you wonder
Mm,
if but it looks like this massive city. You know what I mean? It's like, oh wow, that's crazy. It looks like, it almost looks like the background is a mix between these old cities of Greece mixed with some of those shanty towns in Brazil, like Rio. You know what I mean? Where it's like the entire hill is just this huge city, but it's all like these little simple homes. And
mm.
anyway, it's not a movie for anybody I know to ever watch. If I don't enjoy it, I don't think anybody knows going to enjoy it. So, and that's why I'm moving on to the
Wow,
next one.
no redeeming value on the futuristic sci-fi
Watch
called
The Wanting Mayor.
The Wanting Mayor.
Watch the
If that didn't
trailer.
clue you in,
Watch the trailer, and that's pretty much all you really need to do. And
okay,
you're good. The last movie I saw was a movie called War Dogs, which I can recommend. It was actually kind of fun. It's also loosely based
okay.
on a true story of these two guys who um, are gun runners who lived in Miami, if I'm not mistaken, and they won a huge contract from the Pentagon to arm a bunch of soldiers in. This was during the war. I don't know if it was in Iraq or something like that. It was. This is in the past a little bit. Stars
Okay.
Jonah Hill and Miles Teller. You probably know him by face as opposed to name, but it
Mm.
is. It's very. How do I say it? It's a very it's a lot of fun, but it's also one of
Uh,
those movies. It's vulgar. The characters are very vulgar, like almost to the point of like you can't say a word, you can't say a sentence without saying no, fuck that. And it's like damn,
okay.
it's one of those kind of movies. So, especially Jonah Hill's character, but it's actually a lot of fun. So
Mm.
obviously the Miles Teller's character is an old friend of Jonah Hill, and they kind of meet up, and Jonah Hill's kind of doing his own thing as an actual gun runner, but legally. And
Uh,
which is which what calls into question how things work in America, for the record, and that's really, I think, the point of the film. I've seen this other movie called Warlord or something like that, or Lord of War, which stars Nicolas Cage.
mm,
And yes, I know, I get it. Nicolas Cage. This is actually one of his better ones. Um,
mm.
has a very similar premise, and it's just odd how anyone could get can become this millionaire, maybe more, just doing these type of things. And obviously they make it big, and
Mm.
things
Arm
happen, and
dealers.
at some point, and hilarity ensues, as you like to say. So at some point things go wrong, and then they have to kind of figure out how to fix it. And it's actually pretty cool. I do recommend this one. This one I can easily give, this I can a simple 3 out of 5 here on this one. The One Team
Okay.
Merit, for the record, I would go back to that one. I would definitely give that one a 2. A
Okay.
two, and the only saving grace is probably the
The
visuals. And
visuals.
yeah. um but War Dogs, yeah, it's a 3. It's a fun movie. It also has what the hell's this dude's name? um he voices Rocket Raccoon. I can't remember his name now, but
Oh,
um hold on,
I
I'll
was
see
gonna say
his
Chris
name here.
Pratt.
No, not Chris. Jesus
I know, I know,
Christ,
I
what the
know.
dear Lord, what is wrong with
I
IMDb? They
forgot.
changed the format of this.
Oh,
Oh God, why did they do this?
I, I,
Anyway, it doesn't
I should
matter.
help you.
Yeah, it
Uh, Voice of Rocket Guardian. And his name is Bradley Cooper. Thank you very much. Good night.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper's in it. And so it's an interesting. It's fun. It's a fun movie. I can definitely recommend that one. But anyway, that's all I've been doing. And
we're go,
guys. And if you didn't know, it is actually time for our trailer of the week.
Of the trailer of the weeks of the trailer of the week. Hit it.
I knew you were going for it. I'm like, I can't do it. Yeah, it sounds like I can do that. Everybody can do that.
Just go, whatever. Whatever.
My default beatbox.
Exactly.
It's like everybody can do that shit. Anyway, we got a lineup here of 4 trailers that we saw, and I'm just going to list out the names, and then Mr. Santos is going to say what he thinks is our number 1 or his trailer of the week. And that would be, first of all, the trailer number 2 for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That's a very long name. We're going to just call it Shang-Chi from now on, for the record. Candyman, Halloween Kills, which half of us only saw a partial of, and the Harder They Fall. Sir, what do you got?
Man, this one is
slim pickings, I know.
Well, no, actually, you know what? There were a couple trailers here that caught my attention. There was at least one trailer where I think I did the first trailer walkout. I was like, nah, fuck this shit. I just skipped and it started a completely different trailer. And that would have been Halloween Kills, because fuck that shit.
Fuck that movie, yep.
Shang-Chi, I feel like it was an trailer more than anything. Yeah, I want to watch that movie, but the trailer, it didn't do anything, and I'm almost grateful for it, because I hate when trailers give shit away. And
I will say one thing on this trailer. It's not a spoiler because it's on the at least I think it's on the trailer. I really should go back and slow it down. But there was like this huge creature at the very end, and that looked like the one from the Hulk. I can't think of his name now. Oh, God. Abomination. It looked like Abomination. I'm just like, oh shit, is that who that's supposed to be? Is that what the fuck this?
Oh, is that what they call it? Oh, okay.
I don't know. It looked a lot like him. That's the first thing I said. That was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is that who I think it's supposed to be? I don't know. But that was just interesting.
It'll be nice, because I mean, it's almost very difficult, and I don't know if it's on purpose that it was done like that, and I'm okay with it if it is, but it's almost like this trailer almost make it difficult to relate it to anything else Marvel in reality, right? Like,
I mean, sure, I guess. I mean, if you have Doctor Strange, then yeah, this will fit right in.
Yeah. Exactly. If you were to just at least cameo him in, or someone from his universe, but I feel like we already had a fantastic ancient Asian universe where they explained the thing with time and everything that was in Doctor Strange. And then this one, it feels like, well, okay, so this is another type of like mythical craziness also, evidently. And that's the kind of like,
where was this mysticalness during Endgame?
Exactly. Oh, no.
I know where you're going with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah. So
here's the deal, and the movie, it doesn't need to spend long on it, but it definitely needs to address it. There's in every movie going forward,
it will have
has to do that. I mean, up to a certain point, obviously.
Unless we're now 10 years away.
The Yeah, I guess that's true. If this happens, but if it happens before, then we're like, well, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? It's like we need to move on. You know what I mean? And
You
so
guys
that's why I
didn't help,
prefer.
obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm talking about the
So
blip.
I don't. Yeah. You weren't there. You didn't do
You weren't
anything.
there. You didn't do anything when when the stones. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. So I would hope that they address what occurred, and they could do that literally in a couple sentences. It doesn't have to be something that you're just, oh, okay, so that's what the fine.
yeah,
All right, move on.
yeah.
But
And
go ahead.
And speaking of moving on, this is called Trailer of the Week, not reviewing all the trailers. So this is just a long-winded way of saying I thought it was going to be The Harder They Fall, but in reality, it ended up being Candyman.
Andy Man.
Yes, and
How about that?
yeah, it's the reason why I went to. First of all, guys should watch the trailer for The Harder They Fall. I believe it was a teaser trailer, and this was a Netflix
was a
movie.
lot of information.
Yeah, no, right, for a teaser trailer, that was a lot of. They're calling it a teaser trailer, but yeah, that was. I mean, this was a full trailer. I will call it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it looked fun. I'm definitely down with watching that movie. It's a Netflix a movie, so it's not gonna be difficult to. But like I said, fuck Halloween, kill, whatever. The Candyman trailer is the second time that we have watched something to this effect, and I want to say we might have made Candyman trailer of the week at one point. Did we?
I think we did the first one, which I guess is a little bit of a of a thing, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? If it's still capturing our attention and we want more from it, then it's doing its job.
It is doing. It definitely is, and I feel like the first trailer we saw it such a long time ago that's why I feel that disconnect. If we made it already a trailer, I mean, fuck, this is not the awards. This is still considered a trailer that you should watch. So,
agreed.
What's Candyman trailer number 2? The reason I picked it, I made this one my choice was because, as opposed to like all or most other horror films of that nature, this looks like it seems to be the type of like smart horror that I like, which is the one where it's kind of like mind bending and a little like it throws a little I don't know. I don't want to say fuckery because that sounds like it's a bad thing, but it like it plays with your.
I know what you mean, though.
Like there is an element of something that could potentially be a cool reveal.
Yeah.
And exactly. When movies have that and have memorable reveals, that's the reason I those are my favorite movies. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll say give it to this to Candyman trailer number 2. And The Harder They Fall, just watch that trailer because it looks incredibly fun.
I will also go, and I actually will second pretty much everything you just said. The Harder They Fall does look like a lot of fun, and it's a Netflix film, so it's coming out this summer. It looks good. Looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do also give it to Candyman. It was
careful now. We have said it 4 times already. We can't say the name again.
But it has to come from each person. So I've only said it twice, exactly.
Okay. So it's not.
Plus, we don't have a mirror in front of us, so I think we're okay.
Speak for yourself. I always carry a mirror.
Okay. Well, yeah. Does reflections count? I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's not find out. How about that?
How about that? Exactly.
So anyway, I am interested in it. It does look good. It does have that Jordan Peele is a producer, but he is not the director in this.
No.
But it does have that Jordan Peele feel to it. And actually it is being directed by I don't want to say unknown. Nia DaCosta. She's not completely unknown. She is actually the one filming a Marvel film called The Marvels, which is actually the follow-up to Captain Marvel.
That's what it's called?
Also,
The
It's called
Marvels.
the Marvels, yeah.
Oh.
Because it's also going to include what's her name from WandaVision. I can't remember
Oh.
her name now.
Yes.
Whatever her name is, yeah. And
What's her
so
name?
it's going to include her and stuff like that. But anyway, point is to say is
It
she
was cool.
hasn't really. Huh?
Yeah, she was cool. I forgot.
She was cool. Yeah,
I forgot it. Yeah. They
Yeah.
don't. She doesn't have a hero name yet. She just discovered super. We're spoiling.
Correct,
We're starting to
yeah.
spoil a little bit of
Yeah, exactly. So
WandaVision.
anyway, moving on. So she hasn't really done anything major just yet. So a couple of shorts and stuff like that. But I like having new faces and new visions. Really,
Vision's gonna be there. No, I was kidding.
having new people who view things differently is definitely what I want to see in the films. I mean, you get tired of seeing the same Steven Spielberg film and George Lucas and Wes Anderson and all these directors. Like, okay, you kind of already know what you're going to get from Michael Bay and whatever. I want to see the new cast. You know what I mean? Like Ryan Johnson is still considered kind of new. You know what I mean? And he's the new Steven Spielberg. You know what I mean? As far as the household name. So you're looking for those new ones, and this is how you get them. You know what I mean? You give them a project and let them run with it, and then suddenly you have something special. You know what I mean? And I can't wait to see. So this one just looks really good. We did name the first one as the first teaser trailer, whatever it was, as our trailer of the week, and here it is. The second one it has a little bit more. It doesn't really give away, which is good. It has a little more stuff, Yeah. Some of the other thing is like, okay, this is obviously the trailer is not done by them, but it's marketing. But still, it's like overall the whatever secrecy is behind everything is still behind everything. We don't know what the deal is, and so I know watching the original Candyman films, like, okay, let's see some stuff where I'm like, okay, so this is kind of where the original story is. I still to this day, one of the lines that freak me out to whole end is when Candyman tells someone that I'm going to run something along the lines. This I'm paraphrasing. Something along the lines, I'm going to run you from groin to gullet, and with his hook, and it's just like, whoa. The imagery alone, and then there's a kind of moment where there's like this quick glimpse, and you're like, it's not gory to the sense, but I guess it's like you just know what happened because that's what he does.
He said it,
and it's and it's like, man, Candyman was.
Now you have said it 4 times.
Yeah. Again, no reflection, but that's fine. He is
okay. If you wanna bet your life on it.
I don't. So anyway, he who should not be mentioned. When they did those films early, it was actually there were some of the more scary ones and well done ones. And so I'm hoping that they deliver here as well. So yeah, that's our apparently our trailer of the week, and that is
Consensus. Yeah, we like the same things. What a surprise!
Yeah, hell surprise. Yeah. Real quick, let's move on into our mouthful games radar. And of course, we have. I think I'm gonna say 2. Only because I think you mentioned this as being something either you're interested in or you were shocked about. But first and foremost, I do want to mention Scarlet Nexus is a game that it came out today and it's getting fairly decent reviews. It's above 80 on Metacritic.
Yeah.
It is available on pretty much everything except for Stadia for whatever reason. PlayStation 4 and Switch, sorry. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. The other game is a strange one. It just kind of announced very recently, and it's available now. Alex Kidd in Miracle World.
Oh, God.
DX. Like, what the hell? If you missed that gem from back in the day, it's available also PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, pretty much everything. And this time it includes Switch. Still no Stadia. Anyway, Stadia. So those are the games that are on our games radar for the week. I'm sure most of you are probably like, he's not mentioning Mario Golf Super Rush. Well,
We
yeah.
gotta have a conversation about that.
That game, unfortunately, is lacking in some things, apparently. And I'm glad I heard about this because I was ready to pull the trigger. I was like, it's happening. And no, it's not happening. And since it's a Nintendo game, guess what? It's never going down in price. So guess what? I'm never gonna fucking get it.
No.
So anyway, moving on into our useless news that you can use. And I thought I had it up here, so give me 1 second.
No, there is honestly not much that has happened. At least I didn't have a lot of news, so don't be surprised if you have a hard time finding stuff.
No, I had a couple of news. I just don't have the screen up. Is what it was.
So you're not prepared. Okay, I was trying to save you there.
It's a rare thing. I know. I don't always come unprepared, but I do have it up now. And I'm actually going to start with a Konami twofer.
Oh, what is a Konami?
A Konami.
What is a Konami then?
Konami is this game company that I don't know, just doesn't want to make games. But anyway,
that Konami, the fuck Konami. Yes. Okay, gotcha.
That's right.
Yeah,
he said the fuck Konami. All right, news piece started here is Konami has announced a new werewolf style game set in a futuristic London called Crime Sight. It is coming to PC and currently has signups available for a closed beta test today.
Are you sure that's not a pachinko machine that they're announcing?
I mean, it may lead to
that's right. But
for now, they need to have the property to make the decision.
That's true. Yeah.
Crime Site
already milked Castlevania for all it was.
Exactly.
Worth.
They need new one. New cows. We need new cows. Crime Site takes place in London in 2075, where AI predictions of when and where crimes will happen have all but eradicated actual crime, and a special AI dubbed Sherlock is developed to help avoid a future where the world falls into ruin. But a rival AI dubbed Moriarty stands to untangle its efforts. This is not a good setup so far, but anyway, closed beta available, or rather I should say signups are now, and it's coming out in the beta should come out sometime through
signups. It already sounds like gas, probably with factions and
probably this is definitely Konami, and this is a weird week for Konami, so that's why I was like, that happened out of the blue, no announcement, just hey guys, we're taking they
got late to E3. They realized like, oh shit, we forgot. We haven't done this in a long time.
Damn,
we haven't done this in a long time. So hey guys, we are making a game.
Yeah, very, very strange. Not only is that, the next piece, the twofer, Konami has surprise released an online performance test demo for the game that will presumably be PES 2022. So out of the blue, they just
just realizing that, oh shoot, I guess we make games also besides spas and pachinko games.
Yeah, I feel like they just they were supposed to be at E3, believe it or not. They were part of it and they backed out. And then they just do this out of the blue. Just, hey guys, by the way, there's a demo for PES 2022. And we're not going to call it. It's actually referring to as a new football game.
Yeah,
that's the name. It's like, Konami, I'd rather you just stop. If you're gonna do this, I'd rather you just not do nothing.
At this point, it's like, you're okay, Konami. You already did enough damage.
I agree.
Enough damage. This week, actually, again, I don't have a lot of exciting pieces of news, so it's gonna be very weird that I go into this one. But hey, believe it or not, it also relates to games. Windows 11 was announced this week. Microsoft had a presentation on Thursday when they unveiled what everybody had already seen in the leak that happened the week or two before. which was, a new layout, new look, definitely going for a new feel. Very, very Mac OS looking, in the sense that the start menu, believe it or not, is now like smack down in the center. I'm sure that's not gonna fuck a lot of us that work with Windows, but you can customize it. You can move it to the left if you want. But that's only exciting to me. But the only reason I bring it is because there are some features that are going to be part of Windows 11 exclusively that are supposed to benefit games. Among them is that Windows 11 adds auto HDR to games. Microsoft unveiled Windows 11 last night, and doing so mentioned the new gaming focus features. Windows 11 automatically adds high dynamic range HDR enhancements to games built in on DirectX 11 or higher that previously used standard dynamic range. So your regular games that have been made, using DirectX 11 or higher, which is like most of the games, most of the most recent games nowadays of the last couple of years, will have the feature where even if they were not originally made HDR, and this is me just trying to explain, if they were not originally made to be HDR, it's gonna add that feature. That feature was, I don't know if you remember, but that feature was introduced on the new Xbox consoles first. Mm-hmm. To various degrees of successes. Some games really benefited, older games really benefited of having that HDR bump, making, games that already look, good, making them look fantastic on HDR. But some games you could tell that they were not really meant to have the HDR. So forcing the HDR made them look either washed out or kind of weird looking. So yeah, definitely not the intention of the developers when they made the game. So I don't know how this is going to be implemented, or if it's something that you can just activate on a per game basis, or if some games are going to be like they're going to have they're going to have they're going to be pre-vetted and have it on. Like, I don't know. I believe that's the way that they're doing it now on the consoles, but correct me if I'm wrong. The tech, like I mentioned, the tech is already in the Xbox Series X and S. Microsoft mentioned over 1,000 games will support auto HDR, including Age of Empires, Definitive Edition, Rocket League, DayZ, and even Doom 64. Because, they need Doom 64 needed HDR,
It needs HDR, man.
Yes.
It's one thing I said it was missing back in the 64 days. I was like, this needs HDR, and everybody looked at me and goes, what the hell is HDR?
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't been invented yet.
No.
Just you wait.
Just you wait. Microsoft said Windows 11 will load new games faster via a tech called Direct Storage. Again, this was part of Xbox Series X and S tech. Direct Storage means games quickly load assets to the graphics card without bogging down the CPU. Microsoft said to expect incredibly detailed game world rendering at lightning speeds and without long loading time. Direct Storage optimized Windows 11 PCs are configured with the hardware and drivers needed to enable this. So real quick, and this is again me, David, tried to explain ridiculous tech. So obviously you guys know that Sony has a very good implementation of their, their hard, the way their SSDs work, or NVMe SSDs work, to where the loading times of games are like ridiculous, right? And this generation of consoles, Microsoft has a technology, kind of similar, but I wouldn't necessarily put them in comparison because I don't think they're in comparison yet. But believe it or not, it is a definite improvement over the last generation, which of course we would expect. So what they're doing is it's basically bringing those technologies to the PC side of things. But remember, on the PC side of things, it gets a little bit more complicated because people have different hardwares and not everything is supported. So now you got to make sure that whatever you have on your computer is supported. Like, I ran the compatibility thinking or that, oh yeah, I got a PC that I built recently. Of course, I'll be able to install Windows 11 on that shit. Of course, I have a recent computer. Nope. It tells me that my computer does not support Windows 11 because of some weird chip thingy that is missing that ends up being an add-on that I could buy. It's something ridiculous. Anyway, the thing is that's the shit that you now have to be aware of. That if you want to take advantage, they tout these benefits as, well, games now can be created with that technology in mind, meaning, more realistic world, less elevators or tight corners or, ridiculous layouts of buildings just to hide the loading times and stuff and the streaming of assets. That's going to be eliminated now that we have this technology. But then to have the technology, you have to have like the latest and greatest, which not everybody has, especially now, which is impossible to buy a PC. I feel like those efforts are, while noble, I would really say do not expect to see any type of change on your games other than the HDR, which they can activate that automatically. But any changes on the creation of games that take advantage of your hardware in that method, anytime soon. Like, at least not for the next 2 or 3 years, if I had to guess. So, but they have to start somewhere. They have to put the technology at some point. It's like when RTX happened. When NVIDIA brought RTX, the first 2 years, it was like there was no games that supported it. Right now, I will argue there's very few games that support it still, but they're happening. And now they're on consoles, which is, NVIDIA didn't create NVIDIA created RTX, their proprietary technology, but they didn't create ray tracing. that has been a technology that has existed for ages and ages since we saw the first Toy Story.
Yeah.
So
I think we had to go further back.
Probably further back, exactly. So, but now is that we're seeing the fruits of it because at one point it got implemented. So yeah, only nerds like me they're gonna be excited about a new operating system. I'm certainly not gonna download the leaked version and try because I'd rather wait for the final product on that, since my PC is my production PC. So I don't wanna make it a testing PC. But and real quick, the Windows 11 minimum system requirements, according to them, is a 1 gigahertz or faster processor with 2 or more cores on a compatible 64-bit processor or system on a chip. System on a chip means the graphics card and the sound and the CPU itself. It's all one chip. That's actually what the consoles have, basically. A system of a chip.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Memory is 4 gigabytes of RAM, which sounds incredibly low. Storage 64 gigabytes or greater.
Say that, yeah.
Yeah, they call it the minimum. You don't want to run it with this.
The minimum, yeah.
System firmware UEFI, secure boot capable. The part that fucked me is that the trusted platform module, which is a chip that is supposed to be for for using encryption and making your computer more secure and shit like that. I don't have that. And then, of course, a DirectX 12 compatible graphics card, which is actually leaves out a lot of, not necessarily new graphics card, but graphics card that still have some use, So a lot of the older, maybe, 2014, 2013 graphics card, they're being laid that, not included. So yeah, okay, that's enough. I'm not gonna bore you with more details. That's you won. You won.
Thank you.
Windows 11, and you're gonna buy a new PC to play the latest.
Was Tech Talk with Dream Twister.
No. You know what? In all reality, the demonstration, obviously, and I'm surprised they didn't talk about it here. It did a better job of showing you like the new store and Game Pass on it looks to be more organized, which right now is a fucking mess. You don't know what you have, and you don't know what you can download on the Microsoft Store because it is it is very basic, like very Spartan, but what's in there is chaotic. So it's very difficult to find stuff. And lastly, Android apps. You're gonna be able to you're gonna be able to download Android apps and use them on your PC. Like think about it, like Instagram, for example, or like I don't know, apps that you use on Android. Imagine just now you can download it on the PC. Here's the catch, though. For some reason, they didn't go with Google to provide that. I mean, that would just make too much sense. But no, they went with Amazon to provide the Android apps. So whatever runs in your Echo devices is likely the versions that are going to be available for you to run in Windows. But still, that's crazy, though. Like, there's no...
I'm not sure if I would have gone that route.
Well, okay. Me neither, but I understand the reasoning why they're doing that. It's almost like they're bringing the developers to, just your Android apps can run in Windows also, and of course here, if you want to participate on another store that gives you a better revenue split, then you can port those apps to the Windows Store, and you get a better revenue split and yada yada. So that's kind of like their pitch. It's kind of it's smart, the reasoning behind it. I don't know how it's gonna work for them. How successful that be, because the Windows the Microsoft Windows Store or whatever it's called, it's a fucking disaster. I mean, you can't even save that with Game Pass. Like, that's where you download your Game Pass games, and I'd rather not have to go in there. It's so bad. So anyway, I can tell you're sleeping now. So
no. I mean, I don't go into the Microsoft Store, so I have no opinion one way or the other.
Oh, it's horrible. It's like it's your fucking operating system. How have you not made a decent app store for Windows? Like, what sense does that make? Anyway.
My next piece, guys, is more of a, not rumor, more of just talking it out. We need to talk this out.
All right, let's hash it out.
Yeah, exactly. Insomniac Games, which is the makers of Ratchet and Clank and Marvel Spider-Man, appear to be gearing up for work on a project with a heavy emphasis on multiplayer. This comes from multiple job postings at the studio, which Insomniac Games says are for a multiplayer project.
Well, confirmed.
Mystery solved, right? Among other roles, Insomniac is looking for a creative director, a story lead, an art director, and a system designer specifically for multiplayer systems. Digging into the listing doesn't glean too much in the way of specifics, though there are a few clues. The system designer's role asks for candidates to design player interactions and systems, including combat, navigation, progression, and economy, for a multiplayer environment, indicating that whatever this multiplayer game is, it's likely pretty involved and complex. The same listing also asks for a quote thorough understanding of melee combat systems, enemy design, and boss design. End quote. The story lead job looks similarly detailed, indicating and it indicates that the narrative aspects are tied in closely with multiplayer component, as it asks for experience with multiplayer narratives. So I'm not going to go into much detail from there, but we all know who Insomniac Games is. So my question, sir, that I wanted to bring because of this article is twofold. First off, it is clear as day that this is a first party attempt at a multiplayer game. Are we looking at Sony entering some sort of multiplayer games as service? Because every, we know that, the third parties have their version of it. I think it's pretty clear that Microsoft will have their version of it with Halo multiplayer, which will be free. And if it's free, we all know there'll be some sort of service in the background. And we all know how Halo is, like, whether you care for it or not, Halo is a juggernaut when it comes to multiplayer, and everybody is down for it, especially if they're touting, 120 frames per second. So it's like, they want all in that, on that. So obviously Sony if there's one thing they're lacking on, would be honestly anything multiplayer at this point, because they really don't have anything. I think the last thing they had was SOCOM, and we have been waiting what feels like decades at this point for another one of those. The reality is the last one they did suffered from the PlayStation outage, because it literally launched right at the same time, and no one can play it.
Yeah,
and so but 5 weeks, 6 weeks it was out. It was like that game completely. And by the way, that's the only way you can play SOCOM, guys. So like that game literally did nothing, and so it's a sad thing. So first, I guess my first part of the question is. Is that what we're looking at? Is that where Sony's looking to go to here?
If they're commissioning Insomniac to work on something like that, and I'm saying commission, it's probably not Sony. It could be just Insomniac saying, "Hey, you know what? It's time to work on our dream project," or whatever.
Maybe remember they're owned by Sony now, so
true.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the same time,
yes, that's true. So. I think if that, yes, I would say yes. Obviously they are working on a multiplayer, and if it's multiplayer nowadays means a games as service, especially when you announce it like that, because very doubtful. Like you're not gonna put Insomniac to work on a military shooter, like a competition for frigging what you call it, Call of Duty.
Warzone?
Yeah,
Warzone.
Yeah, exactly. That's not what you bring in Insomniac for. If you're bringing Insomniac, it's because you want to create something that is special, that is very different, and it has a particular feel. And they're very good with the technology, already. I think
that leads to my second question, but go ahead.
I think that here's the thing though. If they're going that route, when I say they're good with the technology, I don't think it necessarily means in taking advantage of they're not going to do Ratchet and Clank's loading time. Well, even you told me that the Rift portion was cool, but it was a little bit like on certain spot that you were meant to do it. It was not something that you could just do it. I don't think they're going to bring technology that's going to be harder to pull off in non-Sony consoles because, believe it or not, one of the things that we're hearing now is Jack Ryan evidently being very positive, very how should I say, crossplay. Not crossplay, is it? Or yeah, very crossplay positive lately, evidently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So obviously that doesn't mean Microsoft. So you to get that dream out of that, yeah, that's ridiculous. That means more PC.
PC.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh,
and PS4.
Yeah.
It could be PS4 also.
Pretty obvious
but
this. Yeah, but I mean, yeah,
it could be though.
Yeah, I think it would be both. I mean, I think it's pretty clear based on recent moves.
Mm-hmm.
It's PC.
Yeah, definitely PC. Definitely PC.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely PC.
So the second part of my question is this, sir. In the time that Insomniac has released not one but 2 Spider-Man games, and yes, I get it, Miles Morales wasn't a completely new game, whatever, but it looked and felt like a nice new game. And on top of that, they also did Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which was really freaking good.
That was a
new game. That time. I'm sorry?
That was a new game.
That was a new game. In that time, 3 games are released. Naughty Dog only had The Last of Us Part 2 to show for it. So I guess my question is, and this is more of me, stoking fires here, but my question is Insomniac the new, the new gem studio at Sony? Because clearly Naughty Dog obviously has some serious pedigree when it comes to making games, but they do take their time. And obviously the results show.
Yeah.
But at the same time, let's take a good look. I mean, Marvel Spider-Man and Miles Morales and even Ratchet and Clank, they may not be, the technical powerhouses that Last of Us 2 is, but at the same time, they're not, they're nothing to sneeze at. They're very good looking games, and they did 3.
Yeah,
in the time that these guys did, So that's again, I'm just stoking fires here because I don't
know. I don't know if I'm ready to hand them the crown, take the crown away from Naughty Dog. I still feel like Naughty Dog is Naughty Dog, and Naughty Dog can get away with the things they are because they're like the darling, the Sony darlings. I mean, everything that they have done, they have delivered. At the end of the day, they have super delivered. Yes, this guy Insomniac has a potential. They could be. I mean, they have demonstrated they obviously have the chops, and they will sell games. But I don't know. I feel like the moment that even with the time they take, the moment they announce a game, it's like I feel like all eyes are gonna be on them.
A Naughty Dog.
Yeah. I mean, still, even if obviously 3 good performing games will still sell more than just one phenomenally performing game. But I'm just saying
these are all what do you call it? They're all first party and they're all exclusive, so you're already limited to the market.
Yeah, exactly. So I honestly, I'm not. You might be right on that, but I'm not ready to hand them out. I mean, depends on if they're like, we haven't heard anything in particular about what Naughty Dog is doing, right? So if they're just gonna like sleep on the laurels or take way too much time, and then these people end up releasing yet another game, then I'm like, okay, now Naughty Dog, you are the sleeping giant now.
That's so. I'm glad you said that because that's exactly the point I was trying to get to, and we can move on after this, unless you will have any follow up. But they have those 3 games in that short time. We know they're working on Spider-Man 2. That's a given.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is it a given, they've already said it. So we know that they're doing that. They're ramping up for whatever this project is, which, granted, we're not probably going to see in a few years, which is fine. Naughty Dog, what we do know that they're working on is the multiplayer for Last of Us. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're working on. The multiplayer for Last of which I get it. The first Last of Us, um, it was called Factions. Was an excellent multiplayer. I remember playing it, and they did it just to do it, and I don't think they even realized how good it was until people said,
Yeah,
"Whoa, this multiplayer is actually really good." You
yeah.
know, so they are working on that, unless they've, for whatever reason scrapped it, but that hasn't come out for any reason. That was something that was gonna come out at the same time, and they decided to release it separately. And
Mm.
here we are. We haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah,
You
we
know what I
have.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And the last thing we heard was from the Bloomberg article from these guys regarding Sony, and how Naughty Dog is also taking over the remake of the first Last of Us.
Oh,
So
true. Yeah.
yeah,
That's true.
so those are the only two things we know. And when I look at it, I'm like going, when you look at what Sonic is bringing,
Mm-hmm.
you have a little bit more variety. While with Naughty Dog, while yes, they will probably
Mm-hmm.
be, bleeding edge, beautiful, whatever, um, it's still a lot of the same. And so that's what and
Yeah.
it's not. I agree 100% with you. I'm not ready to give these guys a crown, but they've had an excellent couple years so far under Sony, and they don't seem to be stopping steam. We know Spider-Man 2 is coming out, or whatever it's going to be called, and we know clearly there's a multiplayer game coming.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so
And also,
I don't know.
Naughty Dog could be like, yeah, they announced that they're working on the remake of the original Last of Us, but you don't spend time on the pre-production of a Last of Us game, because that game's already done. Like, all you're doing, the work that you're doing, like, you could be doing that on the side while you're working on your big secret title, that they're not ready to announce for maybe a year or two still. So it wouldn't surprise me that they mentioned that, like, oh yeah, they're working on that, and to just throw it casually, kind of like to divert attention from what they're really working on. Which, I mean, who knows at
Let's
this
hope.
point? I hope
Yeah,
it's a new IP.
hope. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Believe it or not, my second and last piece, because to me, like, I didn't have a lot of news, and this one happened, I think, around the time that we were recording last week.
Oh,
So, it looks like an Alan Wake remastered might be in the works. After all, the Alan Wake remaster leaks on the Epic's Game Store. I don't like the title of that VG247, because it makes it sound like, oh, the game leaked. No, that's not what happened. It seems like last Friday was a big day for Epic Games Store leaks. After references to Final Fantasy VII Remake were spotted on the store's database, another unannounced game appeared: Alan Wake Remastered. Epic Data, a website that tracks database updates for Epic Game Stores, has revealed the existence of the Alan Wake Remastered. The unannounced project, developed by creator Remedy, looks to support cloud saves, judging by the string of code discovered. Unfortunately, we don't actually know anything more besides that. That said, the idea of an Alan Wake remaster on the Epic Store is very plausible. Not only is Alan Wake a beloved game that could use a visual update, the existence of a remaster also lined up with recent reports that Remedy's next game is Alan Wake 2. The project, it is said to be Remedy's mysterious major game behind being funded by Epic Games.
Oh,
so
nice. Okay.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense for Remedy to remaster Alan Wake to raise its profile and as a way to build anticipation for the sequel. That said, you should always take this sort of leaks with a grain of salt. Just because the name of a game appears doesn't definitively means that the game in question is coming to the store. So, the reason I'm excited for that is because knowing that you recently liked played and liked Control a lot, and
love Control.
I'm not gonna compare the gameplay of Control with the gameplay of Alan Wake. Certainly in Control, you are pretty much a superhuman. And then there's a sense of crazy mystery. In Alan Wake, you're still a human, but the premise of it is amazing. The presentation is fucking phenomenal. I can't tell you how much I appreciate games that try to mimic that episodic TV show where every chapter ends with credits, and then
you told me
the beginning of the next chapter literally starts with previously on Alan Wake. It's like, God damn, where's Netflix doing, making this happen? It's like right for it. It's so perfect.
I can tell you right now, if Alan Wake 2 gets announced, does well, and all this stuff, Netflix will do.
Netflix will be like, right now. I smell a property,
Yeah, that's a property we can exploit. Let's do it. Yeah, I can almost guarantee that's exactly what the hell would end up happening. So.
I feel like there should be a college humor where the shareholders or stockholders of Netflix are there in a reunion with whoever's the president or CEO, whatever Netflix, and and people are pitching them shows, and he's like just greenlight, like, yes, let's do it. And people are like, no, wait, no. And it'll just get made, and it'll be horrible. And then the next horrible idea comes on, and he'll be like, yes, yes, yes. Like Nicolas Cage accepting every role on every movie just because he likes to be in movies.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Yeah.
I'm bingo. That's all I
look
got.
forward to a college humor saying exactly that.
That would be funny.
All right, I have just a couple of quick hits here, so I'm just going to quickly go through them. But I'm going to start with this one because we're already on the topic. So speaking of Netflix, Steven Spielberg has entered the streaming wars. The director's studio, Amblin Partners, and Netflix have reached a deal that will see the company produce new feature films for the streaming service. The new agreement gives Netflix a partnership with one of Hollywood's biggest modern filmmakers at a time when the streaming space is becoming crowded with competitors like HBO Max, Disney Plus, and Paramount Plus. Sidebar, yes, I have Paramount Plus now. Anyway, moving on. The deal
you
also
represents for Game Pass with that.
So that's not my purchase.
Oh, okay. Okay, there you go.
The deal also represents a symbolic victory for Netflix.
She could have got Game
Pass.
She
could have got Game Pass. Yeah.
Sorry.
A symbolic victory for Netflix and streaming at large. Only 3 years ago, Steven Spielberg stated that he believed original movies produced for streaming platforms should not be eligible for Oscar competition. Saying that once you commit to television format, you're a TV movie. Spielberg later clarified that he did not attempt to prevent Netflix from winning Oscars at that year's ceremony. Anyway, I'm not gonna go much further on them.
I don't know how I feel about. I mean, what's the difference? Like where has there ever been? Is there a qualification for the Oscar that it must be a theatrical release?
Yes, which is why some Netflix films come out to the theater in order to be qualification.
Is that so? That is a qualification. Okay, then he's fucking right. End of story.
But the reality is does that in any way take away from the film?
No, not at all. I'm just saying, if the rules are what they are, then again, Fuck the Oscars.
Well, originally
they are what they are.
True that, yeah. No, I agree. It is part of what they said, which is why, like, for instance, Roma, when Roma came out onto Netflix,
Oh, yeah.
it was also in the theater. By the way, the movie that we saw, that we have our runner up for movie this week.
Yeah.
Let me see. I can't fucking remember the name now. Dear Lord.
And I don't have Facebook
old
open.
Age,
Dear
guys.
Lord.
I know I say this all the time, but this is the truth. Old age is a bitch. The harder they fall. Yeah. That's also coming to theaters. So it's coming to theaters at the same time it's coming to Netflix. So anyway, those bigger ones that Netflix can, feel out and go, this is something I feel like it can be whatever. That said, I have seen some nominations for movies more recently that have not come to the theater. So I don't know. The line's starting to blur. You know what I mean?
As it should.
Mank. Yeah, I agree, because we're in the future, and yes, I love the theater experience.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I absolutely adore it. But times are changing, and you can have just as good of a theater experience at home. You know what I mean? So why not? Why does it matter where it comes out to?
Yeah, it's still a fantastic. The art. It's still a motion picture.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
For all intended purposes.
Next hit is PAX West, guys, is set to return as an in-person event. What? This September, after it was canceled last year and replaced by a 9-day digital-only event. PAX West and numerous other conventions were canceled last year as a result of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. But in light of available vaccination, PAX West is ready to return. The convention will take place from September 3rd through the 6th in Seattle at the Washington State Convention Center this year. Welcome back, PAX.
Thanks. On the weird way, but yeah.
That's actually probably one of the news items that got me the most excited. Mostly because we're at the turning point. You know what I mean? And I know, and I get it. I'm not trying to say it's gone. We get it. COVID's still out there. There are variants. We know that India's going through hell at the moment. You know what I mean? Because they have the hugest spikes at the moment. So I get it. We're not out of the woods,
right?
But it's the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like if we could just, if we could just all accept, hey, let's, we're almost there. And I think it was just the most. I literally saw that, dude, and I was just like, oh my God, we're getting there. We're getting there. It's gonna happen. I feel like, I started looking at going, I have some PTO. Maybe I can go to PAX this year. I don't know. Let's see how many times. Just because I want to do something, it just got to the point where I'm so tired of being locked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And anyway, my last piece, guys, as promised, the week before, Cyberpunk 2077 has returned to PlayStation Store after 186 days away. But Sony has once again cautioned based PlayStation 4 players that they could experience performance problems. That should ease over time, according to CD Projekt Red, with the promise that this year will continue to see fixes for the last gen version. Proceed with caution, ladies and gentlemen, with that game, unless you are on PlayStation 5, which I hear is still not great. But anyway, that is the.
Sorry, I was just going to interject that I saw a what is it called? The Digital Foundry. Thank you. The Digital Foundry had a little bit of an analysis on the latest patch, and it's still not there yet, but it seems to be like one of the major reasons it was completely taken out of the store. It was because it was pretty much unplayable on PlayStation 4 vanilla.
and Xbox One vanilla.
And right, well, Sony doesn't care about Xbox. I'm talking about
okay, fair enough. Yeah.
It was unplayable, and the crashes. Like, it didn't matter this time. It didn't matter if it was PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. It didn't matter. It was just crashing way too much. Now it's back with a big ass warning. It says, well, I don't remember what it says on the top of my head, but paraphrasing is almost like you should probably not get this if you're playing PlayStation 4 basic.
The reality for that is, and I'm not gonna, you know, give Sony any credit here, but what that is you've been warned. We're not gonna refund you.
Yeah.
So don't ask.
Yeah. That's
so. I mean, that's what that is. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. But then it creates this weird, like Sony. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that games released on the console cannot be. What was the wording that they would use when they were comparing with? They should be able to run on PlayStation and PlayStation Pro. So this time it's like, well, if you have the PlayStation Pro, you're fine, I guess. But if you have the PlayStation Basic, then you probably shouldn't buy it. You know, and it's weird. So was there pressure to put it on back on the store, or
pressure from who?
I don't know.
They don't know. They don't know. CD Projekt anything?
No, I know, but that's what I'm thinking. Like, then what is it? Then what was the hurry on putting it back? If
money.
If you still there you go. That's the pressure.
That's what I'm saying. It's money. Yeah. Yeah, sure. That's just. I mean, it's money for probably CD Projekt Red and Sony. Right? They're going to get 30% of it. So, but at the same time, it's like it's fixed just enough where it will run. It may not run well. It may have its problems.
Yeah, it doesn't crash.
But at least will run.
Yeah.
So at this point, they're like, I mean, it's one of those things where when it comes to the console, because PC obviously didn't give a shit and they did gangbusters there. But when it comes to the console, you had a lot of people who just didn't, you had people who bought it and got refunds. People who bought it and played it, and you had a lot of people who put shields up and said, nope, not doing it. And that's a huge section of the market that both Sony and CD Projekt Red on their console were not able to do. Microsoft didn't give two shits. So Xbox One players have at it. You know what I mean? You want a broken piece of shit, then take the broken piece of shit. And the sad part is, I think Xbox probably should have done something as well, because guess what? They're the ones who are marketing the game. Yep. You know what I mean? And
absolutely,
Xbox One players jumped in and got a game that was far more broken than the PlayStation 4 version. You know what I mean? Because vanilla Xbox One is even less powerful than the PlayStation 4. So that's the truth of it. So I understand at some point you gotta try to get some of that money back. The people are waiting for it. It's a question that we don't really look up, but look it up. You just look up, is Cyberpunk 2077 better now, or something like that, and you just Google that and you will see articles on articles that weekly or bi-weekly where it's like, okay, the newest thing came in, and it's like people are looking because they want to know. And you have some people such as myself, for instance, who have the game, and I'm like, I want to get into it, but not until it's ready. I tried it twice, and both times I said no. You know what I mean? I don't know if I tried it on PlayStation 5.
I think you did.
I think I did the second time
you did.
Yeah, second time PlayStation 5. So, and no, it wasn't ready.
And it was more the weirdness. It was like it was running fine, but it was just weird, too weird. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
To me, that game's still not
frame rate
released
and
at all.
Like that.
To me, it's like it hasn't been released. It's still
$60 says that it was released to me. So
I know. That's because you have never done early access. So
that's true. That's true.
To me, that's like, that's games on early access. I'll support them, and then
at this point, that's exactly what it is. And it's one of those things where, like, you know what? It'll be that game I eventually get to down the road. I want to. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I want that game to be good.
Probably in the while I was playing Mass Effect, I was like, you know what? I should just all the time I'm putting to this, I should just probably give Cyberpunk another shot.
Oh yeah,
but I didn't. Yeah, exactly. Still a little raw in the center.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but at the same time, I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, it could be because there's some sort of agreement, but I mean, that agreement has to be somewhat on the level of, hey, like Sony has some sort of agreement that they will have that game on their store, but there has to be a caveat to the agreements where, yeah, but your game has to fucking work. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the only thing I can think of is that, CD Projekt Red finally came, well, it is working now. It may not be the best game, but it is working now. So in not putting it in the store, you're kind of breaching contract here. You know what I mean? It's the only thing I can think of. And since Sony said, fine, but we're gonna fucking tag the hell out of this thing, proceed because we're not going through the whole fucking.
Do it at your own. Surgeon's general warning: playing this game on PlayStation 4
can lead to something bad.
Yes, he will surely do. No, but they tested it, and when I say they, I mean like the Digital Foundry, the Digital Foundry people, and it was. I mean, it was certainly more playable. It didn't crash. They still have areas where, yeah, you're not locking that 30 frames yet, and you're still the streaming of assets. It's an improvement, but not to the standards that a game should be. Like the game will still be considered early alpha if you were to show me, streaming assets like this. Still,
I've seen it. I have been. I mean, I'm not as following as most people, but I have been following. I have gone occasionally. Go, is Cyberpunk? I'll Google, is Cyberpunk ready yet? Let's see an article recently, and it's not. It's not. Place, and then most of them will say, yeah, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, sure, they'll run it, and then it's a significant increase, improvement from the others, but it's still not. It's not there, and that's a shame, dude. It's an absolute shame.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, that brings us to the end of the news segment. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with our hot topic. Excuse me. And we're back, guys. And it is time for our hot topic of the week.
Hot topic! Man, what is going on? It's like at this time, it's like the voices are getting lost.
They are getting lost and getting loud too. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
It's only 12:49 in the morning. I'm sleeping,
This is middle of the day as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah, I have my windows open also, so I'm pretty sure my network's trill.
Yeah.
Especially every time that we finish at 1:00 going, I'm sure that he appreciates that.
I'm sure that's flying.
In no way whatsoever.
Nope, not at all. All right, guys. So we're back to talk about E3, Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Part 2, Part 2.
Because E3 never ended. It
did not. Matter of fact, it's still going. If you ask EA, but no, seriously, we're gonna go into. So we already. So for the record, we've already covered Ubisoft Forward, which happened on Saturday, June 12th. We covered Gearbox, which depressed us on also Saturday, June 12th. We went into the Xbox Bethesda showcase, which was aired on Sunday, June 13th, and Square Enix. I was going to say Squeenix. Sorry, Square Enix.
Might as well.
Also on June 13th. So now we have Monday and Tuesday, which is the 14th and 15th, with their respective conferences. So we're just going to go into what was shown. Now, of course, the very first one that I want to bring up, there aren't many left for the record, but the very first one I want to bring up here is more of a cautionary tale for any other developer who wants to join in on E3 or any gaming event.
On digital E3.
Sure. Take-Two, guys, believe it or not, had their own live stream. And it wasn't what anyone was expecting at all. It was, in short, some sort of HR event within their own within Take Two. At some point, I go, "Is there problems at Take Two that suddenly even the audience needs to attend HR meetings?" Because I feel like there's something going on there.
I feel like because you go to after seeing the other companies showcases, we were expecting, well, Take Two is gonna have a showcase of sorts. That's weird, but okay. They're probably gonna talk about the stuff that they're working, and who knows? Maybe we
owners
start
of
hearing
BioShock.
rumblings.
Yeah, owners of
maybe we
BioShock. I was
start
like, oh,
on BioShock or probably not GTA because they don't need to make a GTA anymore ever. But maybe they have properties. They have properties. No, that's not what we walked into, sir. Right?
no, I cannot say exactly how long we lasted, but we didn't really last very long. I'd say maybe 10 minutes.
It was no, we were there because we were flabbergasted. Because here's the thing, so it was actually a discussion. For what I remember,
inclusion, diversity, inclusion,
inclusion
in the gaming workplace. Yeah,
exactly.
Or in gaming,
a very important topic by all means. Something that should have a forum and should be discussed. A very serious topic, a topic that we don't make any light of, any fun of, or anything like that. That's not the point of bringing this up. The point of this is that they seem to have chosen, or I should say, because in this E3 events, it's not just the press conferences. I'm sure there are plenty of panels and stuff like that happen. So this ended up being more like a panel over Zoom, and then we have members or people that worked at Take Two.
Actually, most of
representing
most of the people I think that were there were from other organizations.
Oh, there were they? Okay, yeah. Okay. I thought they were employees because again, it looked like a HR meeting. But
yeah, exactly.
But it was representing the different minorities and talking about those the important topics. But I guess the communication before the event was not clear. So you have IGN, presenting, streaming this, and you have like other people, like other YouTube, personalities, like all streaming this event so they can talk about it later on. And it ended up being not a show where they would, not an event where they show any games or talk about, like, that was not the topic of this thing at all. Again, it was a panel. By the time that the thing ended, you could see that, like, even the people that were restreaming, like in the case of IGN, it kind of felt like they were caught off guard too.
Oh yeah, almost. Yeah. Everyone was. Everyone. There was no one who went into that going. And here's the sad part is, you have two mindsets, right? Because you go into it going, so, well, this wasn't what we were expecting. You have these people who are probably like, well, we don't want to speak negatively because obviously what they're discussing is fairly important, right? But at the same time, you have the other end will going, what is this? What is this? This is not, why is this here at E3? You know what I mean? And it's in many ways a bold choice, right? Because it's like, well, where else would you want to have this so that all the industry is a part of it? But at the same time, it's like, guys, temperature check of the room here. No one's here for that. You know what I mean? But no one can say that. I think that was the worst, not the worst part of it, but the difficult part about it was no one can say that. No organization, no media outlet, none of them were going to say, oh, what in the world? You know what I mean? Because then you're just going to look at, oh, so you have a problem with diversity and all this. It's like, no one really does. Well, sure, there are a few people do, but what I'm saying, no outlet does. But that's not what this was for, and it was such a missed opportunity. You know, it's like I don't even know how to. It was really, yeah.
It was. The problem is that when you present it like that, now you have an audience that is not there for your message at all. Here you are bringing the most important topics, and like I said, they should have their own forum. But the way that it was presented, it was given to the wrong crowd. So of course the wrong crowd just went with it. Just the complete opposite of what was being discussed was happening on chat. Some of the things that were being said, or just the general lack of interest. And I mean, we ourselves we started recording, and at one point we just decided like, no, let's just not do this, because we don't have anything. We don't have this is a positive message, and we don't have anything positive to say about it, because it's like completely caught us off guard. It's like being invited to an action movie, to watch an action movie, and then being taken for like, I don't know, a little, like, I don't even know what to say, like a little HR meeting,
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
and
right.
then
That's exactly what it was.
And then you're like, so obviously a lot of disappointment in chat and all the areas and ourselves. That important message that they were talking about got lost on that.
Mm-hmm. And it's a shame. It's a shame, because any other time of the year, that message would have been not only, well received. It would have probably been, Take-Two would have probably
actionable.
been, people would have been like, oh, it's great that they actually, took the opportunity to do this and talk about this. But no, all that was missed.
Take the whole, take the entire conference to talk about that. Like, I would have preferred that to have, the message to have had its own, its own forum, like well organized, I thought in advance that there was going to be a panel. It's about this. If Take-Two had a presentation, if they would have had a presentation, or they would have had any games to show or whatever, it's fine. Take a moment to address that. Take a moment to promote, the panel, or a few minutes to discuss, and then continue with what the audience was expecting you to talk about, which is what every other company has done in this Electronic Entertainment Expo, which is, talk about the games that they're bringing and their hardware and whatever, but that didn't happen.
No, not even. Yeah, and it's a shame. But hey, they did it. It is what it is. I really think it was a completely missed opportunity to have on a later time or earlier time, however you want it. And really just not understanding what E3 is. Not that this type of thing isn't important, even at E3. No one at E3 is looking towards this. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where it's like, it really felt odd. in short.
Yeah.
But
it felt out of place when it should have been very well included, but again, you don't spring a message like this, to the crowd that was expecting you to show E3 content.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's too weird. It's too.
And then you also can't. It's one of the things where you also cannot be upset with the reaction. We actually looked at Twitter, I think, at some point when we were. I don't know if it was before or after we were recording, but we actually went to Twitter, and I was just like, "Oof, this is not going well anywhere."
No,
you know what I mean?
They were just having it, and it felt, because honestly, some of the reaction was kind of fucking hilarious. I'm not gonna
Oh
lie.
no, it was.
I'm not gonna say I didn't laugh. I'm just
hysterical.
saying that I felt bad for laughing at some of the stuff because it was that was the reaction. What else can
Yep.
you do?
Exactly.
You know, you sprung us into an HR conference about inclusion and diversity in the workplace. A very important topic, but you did it in the middle of E3. You know, no, sir.
Sorry, you blanked out there for like a good 3 seconds.
Oh,
sorry about
shoot,
that.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it still got you though, but it just
okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
I made a big rant about about.
Oh, I got it. It was
being in
just
the
it was
middle.
like the very few seconds. Like, ooh, he's finishing. I'll let him finish.
And then it
and then,
disappeared.
and then
I
you
was
came
like,
back
"Sir?"
and it was dead air. I'm like, oh shit.
This is the part where you interject.
Okay,
That's
interjecting
usually how
out.
it goes.
Sorry, apologies, thousand apologies. So real quick, I wanted to go into the indie showcase that was there, but I'm not going to
Presented
stick.
by Mad Dog.
Okay, sure, we'll go with that too.
You know what? I want to give you what the hell, Windows? Why are you doing this? I have to give you props. You made a video that you posted recently on the group. Did you post it? I think
I
you
did.
right?
I'm going to actually share it to our Twitch as well.
Okay, make sure you guys don't want to miss it. Not just because it was very well produced, but also it brought to my attention an incredible amount of indie games that I just like. I didn't have second thought of it. I saw like the last two maybe or maybe like three of the ones that you mentioned, and the other one was like, oh shit, how did I miss that? That looks great. Yes, that actually looks fantastic. And it helps you put those on your radar.
Yeah, it started off with a lot of these there's a lot of repeats for the record throughout E3, but a good portion of these, believe it or not, were shown off at the Summer Games Fest kickoff, which was the Thursday before E3. That's where we first saw Vocabulantis. That was where that was where first saw. I think Immortality also showed off there. So there was a lot of these little. So I was like, man, that got showed off so early. It's a shame that some people may not even have been there for that. And it got, like I said, the Indie Game Showcase also did highlight a lot of these, but again, not a lot of people were there to watch that, and that happened on that Monday.
Sir, you went dead again.
Sorry about that. Sorry. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. So I don't want to focus on all of them, but I am kind of curious as to the ones that you were, you kind of found interesting.
So hold on, let me bring the list up because they were obviously there was already seen the trailer for Trek to Yomi, which looked incredible. Which from the moment, and I knew about Replace as well, that they showed that at the
Microsoft,
at the Microsoft. Let me see. There was. I'm trying to look for. What was that one?
I have the list here. If
I don't remember that, but there was the one that was from the creator of Inside.
Oh, and the CEO, one of the CEOs from Playdead, which is the creators of Inside and Limbo. That would be Somerville, which is also
Somerville. There you go. Okay, that's the one.
Yeah, Somerville was that one. Somerville. It looks like another. I mean, in essence, now that you look when you know that's where the creator came from, like the creators came from, you go, oh, you kind of already know. I see where they're going with this. Then, Somerville seems to be a little bit more like Inside was like this almost like Limbo was this outline, and
Mm.
inside was what they were leading towards. And so Somerville looks like, oh, we've grown past that. Now we have not just one character, but a family, and the family
Uh-huh.
has having to deal with whatever's going on. You know what I mean? And it does look cool. It really, really does look cool. Now knowing that, I'm like, okay, I already know the inspiration, kind of already know the gameplay that they're going for, and I am in. You know what I mean? I am
Yes.
in. Especially after Inside, which I still feel is one of their best. Well, they only have two games, but one of the best games made. You know, ever basically.
I feel like both of them they nailed it on the
Yeah, Limbo too. Yeah,
because yeah, Limbo was freaking
phenomenal first
phenomenal.
time. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So there was I think the first the one that you showed after Immortality was called White Shadow.
White Shadow. Yeah, White Shadow is
Yeah.
another one, black and white. Looks like to be another similar game, like but it does look. And if you ever check out the trailer, and I invite everybody to check out the trailer, you have this weird soundtrack happening where it's going,
Yeah.
you know, all this. It's like it feels like this 1950s newsreel that's happening, and it's so cool, you know. Um, it's just very stylish in what it's trying to portray. Yeah, White Shadows, and that's I've seen before. The first time I saw that, I think was it was either game. I mentioned Gamescom, and the thing it was either Gamescom or shortly before Gamescom is when I saw that trailer
uh,
for.
and then the other one that I was like, okay, I am totally down. Was on Metal
Oh yes,
on Metal
on Metal
Gear.
Gear. Yeah, that shit looks just like Metal Gear too. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
you already
yeah.
know. It's like, yeah, you know where they're going for here.
And we're talking about NES Metal Gear,
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
Metal
Not
Gear
Metal Gear Solid,
PlayStation.
Metal
No,
Gear.
not
Yeah,
Metal Gear
yeah,
Solid.
yeah, yeah.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
A
Yeah,
high
yeah.
D.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Unmetal looks cool. I mean, it's one of those things where the problem with those games is either it's gonna nail the humor and the action, or it
Or it's
just
just gonna be
nails
two.
just nails the humor or the action. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Right,
either
right.
does both well or only does one well. And
Yeah.
that's the question mark. But that's the beauty about indies. It's like you don't know. You know, you hope for the best with a lot of these. And here's the sad part. These are my top 10. I would venture to say a good 4 of them we will never see again. They will become vaporware, and that's the sad part
That's usually
of indie.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the sad part of indies. Like, there's a few. Like, if I'd have done this every year, you would have. I've already shown you. You would have already known. Oh man, what happened to that game? It's like it's gone.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's never. It's gone. Whoever's working on it either is no longer working on it, or they moved on to something else. You know, whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. So the if I had to point to a few, I can point to a few where I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure this will be something. And that would be Somerville. I think will be
Yeah,
something.
Somerville.
Death's Door, which is from the makers of Titan Souls, which was a great game. I don't know if anybody played that, but that one looks pretty good. Planet of
Yeah.
Lana also looks fairly finished a little bit.
What is that one? Is that because I saw a game that kind of remind me like Out of This World in its graphic a little bit. Um Out of This World is a really old game. So if you don't
I
know
don't.
what I'm
Yeah, I
talking
was gonna
about,
say I
don't
don't know
worry.
that. This was the one where as a character kind of comes up to this little furry animal in front, and
Yeah,
then in
that
the
one.
background you start seeing what looks like to be an invasion of that
Yes.
planet.
That one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. Yeah, yeah. That's Planet of Lana, and that one looks
That look good.
because a little bit. I don't know if I got it into the video, but a little bit later you can see some of the gameplay. It's like, oh, okay, so they got
Oh
some stuff
no, I
going
didn't
on here.
see gameplay.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
thought I was hoping that there was gonna be gameplay. I'm gonna have to
I mean,
finish
it's
this.
very little though. You look at,
Uh,
you have to go back to the. Well, actually, just look up the thing and you'll see it. It'll but it's very little. It's not a lot going on there.
uh,
But you can see. I was like, okay, so at least they got the mechanics down. Um, so yeah, that looks pretty cool. Far, which is Far. if I remember, Something Sales was the first one, and I love that game, dude. That was
Yeah, you did. You
that's
told me about it.
another. It's another similar to Inside. I mentioned that even back then. The
Mhm.
difference is that you have this like this land skiff that
Mm.
runs with wind, and so you get the sail going. You have to, so you're constantly making sure that this thing is getting across the land that you need to go to, and then you have roadblocks in the way. Sometimes the thing breaks down, and now you have to go find something to fix it and come back and fix it. Sometimes you're up at a gate, and you'd have to find a way around it, or a bridge and find a way to get across it. And so it's very similar to Inside in the sense that you don't fight
Uh,
anything, but you are um, looking to. It's a puzzler in that sense,
uh-huh.
and this here looks to do the same thing. Only it is across water apparently because it's changing tides, far changing tides. So I'm like, I already played the first one and dug it, and down for the sequel.
It feels like that a lot of those indies are trying to capture that
Inside,
limbo
yeah,
and inside feel.
yeah.
Like I even feel like what I saw of Planet of Lana gave me the impression that is on that type of game, right?
It's possible, yeah, it's
It's
possible.
it's not going for the actiony type where you're fighting. If anything, it's like you're running away or hiding
Or
or
hiding.
try,
Or puzzle, because I think that's a
or
big part
puzzling.
of
Yeah,
Inside and Limbo is.
every day we're puzzling.
Yeah, exactly. And I would argue, I think Trek to Yomi is also puzzler, or not puzzler, maybe side, that same type of side scrolling thing, but with action instead of puzzles,
With
and maybe
action, right?
maybe puzzles thrown throughout it. But damn, that shit looks good. That shit looks good. My god, and that's a Devolver Digital joint. That shit looks good for
That should
real.
look great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that your number one? I think
No,
no.
Replace was my number one because
Oh yeah, I said no. You should actually give it to
you said,
this
yeah,
one.
you said I should give it to Yomi, and I did like Yomi. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah.
I was just blown away by the beautiful pixelated pixel art of Replaced. And here's the sad part,
Yeah.
right? The first thing I said, and I said it as it was happening, I'm like, oh my god, this is The Last Night, which is another game that we saw at Xbox. This
And
was,
a
dude. This is
event.
what we
Yeah.
did. Yeah, an Xbox. This was at your house, and it was you, me, Shadow, and Chakrot. That's
Wow.
when we, yeah, that's when we saw The Last Night, and I'm like blown away. Like, yes, that looks awesome. Here we are, probably what, 4 years later, gone,
Yeah.
vaporware. So as
Are you sure this is
excited
not the same
as I
game?
am, well, no, it's not the same. It's not the same developer. As excited as I am about Replace, my part is going. So this is replacing The Last Night. Clearly,
Nice,
you know what I mean?
very nice, sir.
So who knows? This may go the vaporware route as well, because it turned out. I think we found out later. It turned out that The Last Night was not captured in gameplay. It was more of a. This was a
like a proof of concept.
yeah, which
Oh,
even sucked even more. I was like, so you
oh,
don't
so you
have
faked
anything?
it.
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, I think that's what ended up happening there. But anyway,
Ooh.
yeah, it sucks. That was our indie showcase, our own personal indie showcase.
Yeah,
So
okay.
let's move on here to some Nintendo news. What?
Oh snap!
Oh,
This is it.
shit.
Switch Pro. Oh, I spoiled it. Sorry, my bad.
Well done, sir. Well
Well,
done.
people know by now. There's no Switch fucking Pro.
There is no Switch Pro. So the Nintendo Direct had a lot of announcements. So I'm just gonna kind of roll through them here. This is
Did
not
they
in any
though?
particular order. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 got a release window in 2022 and a new trailer. Tekken's
Yes.
Kazuya Mishima announced for Smash Bros. Ultimate. Metroid Dread arrives to the Nintendo Switch on October 8th.
Yeah.
Mario Party Superstars brings mini game fun to the Switch also on October 29th. Legend of
Yeah.
Zelda Game & Watch handheld announced with 4 games. WarioWare Get It Together is going to bring a collection of hilarious co-op mini games to the Switch in September. Advance Wars 1 and 2, for whatever reason, Reboot Camp will be available this holiday. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope got a new gameplay trailer. We already saw that at the Ubisoft conference. Life is Strange True Colors and Life is Strange Remastered Collection join Switch's library later this year. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy will have their cloud version come to the Switch also later this year.
Wait, what? Oh, yes.
The cloud version.
The cloud version.
Yeah. Mario Golf Super Rush will receive free updates post-launch that include new golfers and courses. That's good because the game I hear is not completed. Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater announced for the Nintendo Switch. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot makes its way to Switch this September. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania officially announced for October 5th of this year. Shin Megami Tensei 5 gets an official release date for November 12th. Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin gets a trailer ahead of its July 9th release. Danganronpa Decadence collects 4 Danganronpa games. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 skates to the Switch on June 25th. Doom Eternal The Ancient Gods Part 1 is available on the Switch. Strange Brigade is a co-op third-person adventure game available already right now. Just Dance 2022 will be dancing its way in November. Worms Rumble Wiggles its way into Nintendo Switch next week, which is actually this week. Cruising Blast speeds onto Nintendo Switch in the fall. That is all, sir. That's all the announcements.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously you went too fast on it, so now you're gonna have to mention them one by one again.
All right.
And I'm just gonna go pass, and then on the interesting ones we're gonna talk about.
Okay.
So the first one is Breath of the Wild.
Oh, you remember that one, huh?
Well, yeah. It's one of the big announcements actually for Nintendo. Breath of the Wild. Obviously a very good Zelda game. We don't have to, we don't have to step around. Not for everyone. I don't think it's. I mean, honestly, I still think it's a game that you should try. However, because Nintendo is so anti-lowering the prices of the games, and they're still selling that as if it was a brand new release, you're never gonna fucking play it. And it's almost a shame. I understand Nintendo's ideal of like, well, lowering the prices, it devalues or whatever. It's like, it's not a fucking commodity. You can, at this point, you're just looking like the console where everything's expensive on, and like, who cares? Right now, if anything, you should be releasing some of your games at a lower price, because guess what? A lot of the games announced here, not a lot of excitement on many of them. The
for you, come on now, for you.
Well, okay. I can't wait to play the cloud version of Guardians of the Galaxy, because I want to pay full price for my game and not even own the digital version of it. True that. I want a version that is in the cloud somewhere, that I can't even download. I have to stream onto the streaming service Ghost, which of course
it will happen very soon.
Well, yeah, of course. So Breath of the Wild sequel, obviously they put a lot of work into that engine and into the gameplay and stuff like that, and of course they're gonna take advantage of the fact they're not gonna just throw it away and let's work on the next Zelda now, on the next completely revamped Zelda.
It did look good. I'm not gonna lie.
It did. It does look good. I really hope that they learned their lessons from like the stupid choices that they decided to have on the originals on the Breath of the Wild, because unfortunately Breath of the Wild breakable weapons, like super breakable weapons, that was just dumb. I'm sorry. I know you want to call it something that is not. It's dumb.
Not a good choice.
Not a good choice. Not at all. Then the Kazuya announcement, it was
I
it's
mean,
all right.
if you're into Smash Brothers, then maybe. And it's still, the trailer was
Which I
kind of funny.
am. I like it. And
The
it was
throwing of Kirby off the edge, only for Kirby to
that was
come
funny.
back, was kind of humorous.
It was funny. I was thinking that, oh shit, there's a Tekken game coming out. I guess they're making one, and then I started seeing, and I was like, oh, okay,
No, I
so this
could've
is a
told you that,
character
yeah.
for. No,
I
I didn't.
could've told you that.
At first, I was completely in it. I was like, oh shit, they're bringing Tekken. Tekken's happening. So it's sad that was actually one of the most exciting announcements at this thing. To me, again, we're still qualifying it to me. Then they announced Metroid Dread, and holy shit, that was the moment of the show.
That was a highlight, I think, for both of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first truly 2D Metroid game in about 18 years. So
yeah. What was the last? I mean, the last one was some game for the DS, I believe.
Metroid Fusion. Yeah, which this kind of looks like. So I honestly, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, they're doing a
it's
like
a Fusion
an HD
universe
remake of exactly of Fusion. Fusion was the one that she was able to crawl on. Samus was able to crawl on the walls and go up. And so when she does it in the trailer, I'm like, oh, this probably is a direct a sequel to that. But looks good, sir. It looks really, really good.
It looks really good.
I'm kind of down for that. I mean, I love Metroid and Super Metroid, so I really dig this, and I get that Metroid.
I might call them Metroidvania games.
Yeah, or just Metroid games. But yeah, it does look really cool. I like the art style for the most part. Some of it looked a little like, I don't know if this is early and we're still waiting for.
Yeah, I noticed that too, but I dug it. I dug it because it was 2D, which is exactly what I was asking, what I was hoping for. Like a lot of people, me included, have been waiting for, okay, when are you going to bring Metroid Prime 4? And that got announced, and then it was like, that shit is vaporware at this point. Who cares? Who knows? They said they're working on it.
The problem is when they announced that they're working on it, they had just started working on it because they only had the title screen.
The title, yeah, they made the title. That they literally that's all they made. They paid someone to do a title screen, and that was it. But even last year, I believe it was when they also didn't show Metroid Prime 4. I was like, you know what, I'd be okay with a normal Metroid game. Like, I think it's time to bring Metroid back, and they're doing it, and they seem to be doing it in a way that feels different enough. Like, it doesn't not like vastly different, but it's definitely like a kind of a different visual art style, like very sanitized, almost very I don't know. It looks.
Yeah.
I'm super digging it. I'm down with that. That was the game of my show. Everything else,
and we have a release date for this year, so it's already like, oh, it's coming in October. Like, whoa, okay,
October, exactly. I mean, I saw that collector's edition at one point, and I was like, I did an involuntary jump, and then I remembered that, I don't do collector's editions anymore. But if I did, I'll be all upon
that shit.
Also, it was Amazon Japan, so, but they shipped the US, so
that's all.
But I didn't know if it was gonna be a problem with I don't know if it was gonna be country restricted or whatever it's called.
Really, they would do that?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. Who knows?
Okay. That's cool. That's a good one.
That's yeah. Everything else that got announced.
I'm gonna roll through them again for you. Mario Party. Nope.
Nope.
Legend of Zelda Game & Watch. It was kind of a cool idea. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm never gonna play that shit. WarioWare, I did not like. Advance Wars, but
Advance War. If I can mention about Advance War, what the hell happened? That art style is awful. It's god awful. It's terrible. Like, they kitty size, like what Advance War looked like before on Nintendo DS, which was already cartoony, but this time it took it like you might as well be playing with, I don't know, fucking
Army
Nerf
men?
guns.
The little army men.
It's so. It's so. I don't realize it's the same game. A lot of people are still excited about. Oh, Advance War, but like
they
I did not
Nintendoized
like
it. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
It looks terrible. It looks fucking awful.
It didn't look good to me either. So, Mario plus Rabbids we saw already. Life is Strange we saw already. Marvel's
we saw
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy we saw. Mario Golf is quite the letdown. Now that we are on the day that it came out, embargoes have been lifted and reviews are pretty.
Yeah, you heard of that one.
Just okay. And I was like, oh. And I saw what it is. The main thing that have a story mode is only about 4 to 5 hours long, and
not super fleshed out.
And not fleshed out. They don't have a lot of courses. I think they'll have like 6 courses, or maybe less than that. Which when you have the other Mario Golf, they started at 10, and worked their way outwards. So it's like feels like it's a. I don't want to say half-assed, but not complete.
What is it? Isn't the games like something rush? Like
there's a rush mode in it, which a lot of people, a lot of reviewers have been saying that's kind of the best part of it. But it's that's multiplayer. You know what I mean? It's like if you just want to go out and play golf.
More like the game was rushed.
Yeah, pretty much. All set, sir. All done. Fatal Frame, no one cares about. Dragon Ball Z also. Many people care about, but not
I don't. You know what? I just realized, like, I just don't care. And this is because this was not part of my childhood. So I know I'm gonna be like, people are gonna be like, oh, like, calm down. I realize it's a big thing to you, and I salute you for it. But I don't like Dragon Ball Z.
Me either. And I never got it. Like there were people. There's grown people, probably my age or older, who can sit there and recite the lore and all that. And I'm just like, dude, I don't care.
It's like, is this serious? Is this serious? Pardon the side rant, but is this series just bent on using the worst possible names for characters, for powers, for whatever they need to make up a name for? They just decide to use the worst names ever.
I don't know.
I hear Vegeta. I hear vagina. I swear to God, I hear vagina whenever I hear Vegeta. It used to be vegetable. Now I hear vagina. I hear Kamehameha,
he's grown, so.
and that sounds to me like some like surfer dude, like, yo, the Cowabunga dude. It's like, that's what it sounds to me. Kakarot, like, that's cockroach,
Yeah.
And that's a Latino person like me with a bad accent and trying to say cockroach, cockroach. And that's nothing. I will have to get the list, but on the list, I bet I could get 100 names that just sound stupid. It sounds so fucking stupid. And they have a fighting game that is awesome. That is amazing. That I've seen as low as $5. And I've been like wondering, like, should I get this at $5? It sounds like a steal, but is it bombing? Is it, because I heard nothing but great things about it. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. I don't care for that art style. It's probably the reason why I don't like Dragon Age anymore, because it chooses that art style, that weird, that the worst looking animes that could exist.
Yeah.
And again, I apologize to the fans of Dragon Ball. There are many of you on the group that have just left the group. I bid you farewell, and I apologize. It's a generational thing. I did not grow up with it, and therefore, to me, it looks.
Here's the deal: I didn't grow up with it either, but I did like there were folks around me who were growing up with it. It's just I wasn't in that particular group, and I tried, bro. I tried. I literally gave it the college try to see. Let me just get through a few episodes here. Let me see if I can just get into it. And no, I could not get into it. It just wasn't for me, bro. It was not for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear you. So
needed to be said.
Super Monkey Ball. We're gonna move on from that. Shin Megami Tensei 5 didn't really find anything impressive out of that.
Not particularly, but it has its fans. So
it does. Yeah. Monster Hunter Stories 2. Winds of Ruin.
Monster Hunters. Oh yeah, that Monster Hunter game for the Switch, which is, it's not World, so
no, nothing will be. So let's be real.
Only
World 2. Yeah,
yeah.
Danganronpa, I've never been a fan of the series, but I understand it's.
I heard good things. Yeah.
Oh shit! Tony
I love
Hawk.
the enthusiasm that we bring to E3. It's like,
we're just gonna go through Doom Eternal. Okay, but I saw how it looks and plays.
That's the worst version to play.
Exactly.
The worst place to play Doom.
Exactly.
Sorry.
And Strange Brigade. Sure, I guess. We're not dancers, so Just Dance is nothing.
Speak for yourself.
Okay.
I moonlight as a dancer.
As a salsa dancer? Nice.
As a salsa dancer. Yes, exactly.
And Cruis'n Blast, sir. I thought the Cruis'n series was dead, and Cruis'n Blast just comes out of nowhere. I was like,
I don't, yeah.
What?
I saw it also. I saw that also. It's like, exactly. It was like, we're doing this? Okay, I guess we're doing this.
That's still a thing, I guess. Okay, well done. Maybe.
Well done, I guess.
Yeah. So that's more or less all of Nintendo that happened there.
Nintendo.
From there, we had not really much else. We had Capcom and Bandai Namco, both of which showed really nothing. Bandai Namco, I need to really stop for a second and say, WTF, guys. You have Elden Ring. You had our attention at Elden Ring with the trailer shown off at the kickoff for Summer Games Fest. And the sole game that you decide to focus on during the event is it's just one game, first off. It's just one game, and it is the House of Ashes, which is the follow-up to the series, the horror series that they're doing.
Shit! Well, hold on. House of Ashes, the Dark Pictures.
That's it. The Dark Pictures anthology.
Yes.
So this is part. I think it's the third episode. And to be fair, I played the first one and I enjoyed it. It was a solid, 2.5, 3. You know what I mean? It was a lot of fun. I paid $5 for the game, so it wasn't like it's like.
You played the completion; it held your interest. So
because honestly, the graphics and everything looked pretty good. I was like, this was actually really well done. I heard it wasn't like that when it launched, but it got better, obviously, because that's by the time I played it. So House of Ashes does look cool in the sense that it takes place during the Iraq War, which is very interesting. It picked a scenery, but that was their focus, and I'm going, guys, I want Elden Ring. I want more of Elden Ring. That's what I wanted to see. And no, that's what they focus on. So, So, other than that, sir, I think that's all we had. I mean, Capcom did some Resident Evil and Monster Hunter, but that's really about it. Some Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and that was really all they did. So, overall, what are your thoughts of this magnificent E3s that we have?
Well, E3 in general, look, I was excited for the fact that we were having E3. I heard a lot of people express their disappointment of it, of it this year, and I understand where they're coming from. At the same time, I understand where they're coming from because not having like not having a Sony event, again, it felt like too. It felt hard. It was too much. Honestly,
Not having
that's
this
the
on your
part
event?
where I will. Yeah. Honestly, because
Okay.
I don't want everything to be once
Sided?
sided. There is no fun in determining, who won E3 and this time, because there's fucking no question. The only the only event that had the killer the killer titles, and to be fair, they're not winning just because they're by default. They still brought it
No,
in
yeah, they did.
hard and heavy
They did.
with the
If
games.
honestly, if Sony would have came out with any of the state of plays that they've recently done, honestly, if you would have taken all the state of plays that Sony has recently done and put them together and put them against Xbox would have won.
It couldn't. Yeah,
Xbox
it
answered
wouldn't
the
have been
question
fair.
that
Yeah.
everyone has been the meme,
Mm-hmm.
right? The meme that's been going on. It's just
you got all these
there's no
companies.
games.
What are they doing?
There's no games. They don't have games. They don't have games. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
They show you have games. And not only that, they came out and said, yeah, these are only available on this side, like it or
Yes.
not. Sorry, we know that Bethesda, whatever.
They literally said sorry. They literally went and said sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not even a joke. Yeah, they said sorry. This stuff is over here. Now, realistically, I think that this is just me personally. I think that this actually puts Sony on their back feet. I think that's. I still believe. Here's the funny thing. I still believe that Sony still had an event either for the last week or this week, and there's actually a rumor of a leak that they did have an event for the 24th, which was yesterday.
That they did have an event?
They had planned an event for yesterday. It's a leak. It's an article.
Oh, they were planning.
They were planning an event for yesterday.
Oh.
And they had some leak stuff, some leak not footage, but leak stuff about the state of play and everything. And today's the 25th, and we didn't hear anything about it. So that alone gets me to go, oh, what they saw at E3, they weren't ready for, and now they need more time to, I don't know, respond in some way.
Yeah.
And so that is just bad. That is just either they feel they didn't have enough, or they want more. Like they want to really blow it up with something. I personally
was the last
feel
E3? Oh, go ahead. Finish that.
No, I personally feel that they saw it because, to be fair with Microsoft, this was a great showing from them, and it's only great because of the comparison to their previous ones, which are not great. You know what I mean? They're good at best, and Sony just comes out with something else, and they just appear to be the winner. Because of whatever. I think this is the first time Microsoft really challenged them and said, this is what here's Starfield. Yes, these are going to be first on Game Pass. Yep, you have 27 games that they show, and they're going to be available first on day one on Game Pass. Not first on Game Pass, but day one on Game Pass. And on top of that, by the way, yeah, we're doing Halo, and guess what? The multiplayer is free, so you don't even need to buy the game. You just want to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is throwing everything out, and guess what? It's not even throwing everything out, because if you really count the studios that they own, this isn't even half. This is not even half of those studios. So it's like,
and there are rumors that they're buying themselves to get more studios.
More. Yeah. I still feel the need to slow that down, because it's not. I don't think it's having too many studios is a bad thing. You know what I mean? Because you have too many things going on. You don't want to have one of your games cannibalizing another game, and there's no way of definitively saying this is when the game's going to come out, because the reality is game development doesn't work that way. This is when it should come out, but if we run into issues, then it can stretch, and suddenly you're on top of another game.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, they got a nice bundle. To be honest with you, already they don't need to be.
I mean, they can get more, and it would be okay. But
if they get if they get Japanese developers, maybe like having a I don't know, but something. It'll have to be something like that to be very different, because I don't think like there was rumors of them buying NetherRealm at one point.
Yes, I did hear that.
And that sounded like, okay, so you're getting Mortal Kombat and Injustice, and that's it.
I mean, that's what they do, unless they're going to also tap them on the shoulder and give them the blueprint and say, "Hey, by the way, we need you to do a Killer Instinct." You know what I mean? But who knows what you get out of that exactly? So you already know just by NetherRealm. You're getting them for one reason.
Mortal Kombat.
That's what you're getting them for. And
no doubt.
If you wanted to make another game, then it's another game, but it's within the framework of Mortal Kombat. That's what you're going to get with them. So, so I agree.
No doubt.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to do any other Japanese ones or any other studios for now. I know that they mentioned that they're still on the market for it, but that's always because this is a publicly traded company. Those are the type of things you have to say to you know what I mean, to remain in the mind share. But honestly, I that's what I feel about this. I feel like Sony had something planned and now is restructuring what they had going on. You know what I mean? Right. And I think honestly, I don't think they have a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to ask you what was the last E3 that they had? Was it that Last of Us?
Yeah, the one they only have 4 games.
The one they only have 4 games.
It was Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, and can't recall the other 2.
Yeah, that was not. But that was not particularly.
The last one. And they literally, it was an hour long, and literally spent 15 minutes per game. And it was. To be fair, I mean, I liked it because I got what they were doing, but when you really sit back and look at it, so you did this for 4 games, and I honestly think they thought that too. So we did this, and we only have 4 games. We spent God knows how much money, and we only have 4 games to talk about. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was. I think they realized that at that point that this isn't worth. It's not
gonna be enough. I mean, that's that. I mean, they don't want to repeat that again.
Exactly.
I mean, what are they going to like? What is the next property that they get us excited? God of War. God of War. I feel like it's like
that's
exactly, and that's far.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, I know for a fact that they really didn't have a reason to show. I'm just saying, it still stings. Because because it just made it very one-sided, and it puts the question of, okay, so now what's next, Sony? What besides from God of War, what else do you have for right now to get us excited? I feel like all those games are out already.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. The last one was the one that you played, the Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And that's Insomniac. And we mentioned. I think we were off air at this.
Yeah,
point,
I got a PS5, and
yeah.
I don't have any games to look for. Yeah. So meanwhile, Microsoft gave me a very good. Well, if I wasn't already on PC. It would have given me a very good reason to get an Xbox. Starfield alone could have convinced. Could have had a lot of people turning their head. I wish they would have shown more, and I think it's a little worrisome that was the only thing that they showed. If that game is I don't believe it's gonna be this. It's not this year, obviously, right? They didn't say this year. They never confirmed that, right?
No, they did not.
Yeah. Next year. So next year, which they did say next year, right? I'm trying to recall, and I don't know.
Wait, for which one?
Starfield.
They did say next year. They actually dated it. The concern that you should have with Xbox
is why didn't they date Halo?
Right. Why the hell? You're bringing Halo multiplayer relatively soon, according supposedly, but no date.
Yeah, no date. A holiday. The only thing they were able to confirm. And okay, great. What's the date? Why? What's going on with the game that you're not solid?
Oh, actually, funny you mentioned, because I did read. Now I remember I didn't bring it on news because I didn't think it was newsworthy. But they did actually have Phil Spencer say that they have narrowed down the date, the Halo date, by a couple of weeks. So it's gonna be. We have the date down. We're just trying to determine if it's going to be November 1st or November 15th.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm just throwing numbers. I didn't.
No. You didn't say November.
I'm just saying, he literally said a couple of weeks. So yeah. Yeah. They eat, as far as E3, overall, it's what I expected it was going to be. I mean, I'm not disappointed in the sense of, after a pandemic, I knew that we weren't gonna have the shows, the press conferences, and the craziness like that. It was honestly everybody's first, presentation, or maybe not their first presentation, but certainly the first digital E3 for most of the companies. And we saw games at the end of the day. I saw games that I was interested in. So
for sure,
I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Now next year. Sony better fucking be there. I will not give them any excuse not to be, unless they go the Nintendo route and be like, well, even Nintendo has something. They're doing. Unless they go like, well, that's fucking stupid. All right, they need to stop it. They need to, because this direct. You know what you're showing me with the directs? You're showing me that, well, you because you don't have a lot of content. You are trying to disperse it for as many months as you can, and I know it's the opposite. I know that's not true. I'm just saying.
I would say that's what they're doing.
I just feel like
I would say that
it'll be fucking Microsoft hasn't been scared of showing E3 even when they don't fucking nail it. And believe me, they have had some fucking stinkers,
Yeah, well,
but this year wasn't it.
Speaking of stinkers, there's one lesson that I think has been learned here for all of the publishers and everything. It's like, if you don't have really anything to say, don't say anything. Don't link your shit with one of the other, conferences or something like that.
Yeah,
there were way too many fucking conferences, and literally there were only 3 that were actually okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they were, and I can literally, I mean, I'm not even kidding. I can't even count them all in 2 hands. There's just way too many fucking conferences. That shit needs to stop.
Yeah.
Especially when you are Gearbox and you have literally nothing to say.
I was gonna say.
Or Take-Two and you clearly missed the message. Or you are freaking Bandai Namco and you come to talk about one game that no one cares about. No one cares about that game. Everybody wants Elden Ring. Everybody sees that there's a Bandai Namco freaking conference. That's the assumption. Oh, they're going to talk about fucking Elden Ring. I can't wait for that. And you get there and you're talking about freaking Dark Pictures anthology. And it's again, understand your fucking fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, if that's what you're going to talk about, then don't say it's a Bandai Namco conference. It's Bandai Namco presents Dark Pictures Anthology. So everybody knows what's going to be over there. You know what I mean? And I think that's a huge lesson of this E3 that every one of them need to learn. Obviously, Xbox is fine. Ubisoft is fine. Square Enix is fine. These guys have multiple things going on. Okay, I get it. But everyone else, if you don't have multiple shit to talk about, then find one of these guys to link up with and put your shit there, because it makes no sense. Sir, real quick, as we're finishing, what is your game of show?
Game of the show. I mean, Honestly, to me, it's gonna be Forza Horizon 5, the one that got me the most excited. But that's because I'm a huge fan of that series. So
Nice.
I have to give it. I have to give it to that. Oh, believe it or not, there were some games that had me thinking. Also, but at the end of the day, let's be real. That's
It's the end of Forza.
Right? It's gonna be the one that I'm gonna be playing the most.
Fair enough, sir. Mine actually, believe it or not, is it's a shame because it didn't get shown off at the show, but it is still at the kickoff show, and that has to be Elden Ring, bro.
Elden Ring. Wow.
Elden Ring, yeah, it is. They showed off how the world. Did you see that? I assume you saw the trailer. But it is. It looks too good to be true. It looks like it can be definitely problematic in the sense that Dark Souls games, those type of games, they don't hold your hands to anything. And when you're in an already built linear world, then it's like, okay, it's fine. You got ways to go. You have now an open world. Kind of need a little direction. You know what I mean? That's like my only main concern.
Easy to get lost in those games already. You gotta
exactly
give it an open
when it's
world.
not an open world, yeah. So that concern has already been addressed by Hideaki, in the sense that he says yes, there will be like some sort of marker or something to kind of tell you where you would need to go next, but it's not required for you to go, and it's very not in your face, so that you can explore if you want to explore. My fear in that game is, as you know, with most RPGs, is wandering into an area going, hey, I think I could take these guys on, and everything can kill you in an instant. Yeah. So because that's how Dark Souls games work. Everything, even the lonely fucking, like you said, the fucking the farmer with a stick, so you don't want to wander into the wrong area. They did mention it is the difficulties. He mentioned the difficulty is not Dark Souls 1, not Sekiro, but closer to Dark Souls 3, which I hear is not easier, but a little bit more manageable. And it is, so you do have that. You have crafting. You have a lot of aspects of it. It's just like, this just sounds too good, and it looks good. That was the other thing from the trailer. I was like, this looks good, and of course you have
the one from
George R. R.
Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yep. Game of Thrones.
Yep. And he did address that. The lore has been already finished apparently for years now. That was the first thing for years now. Yeah. So when everybody wants to wonder,
finished his book.
If anybody wants to wonder what happened to Game of Thrones and why he didn't finish it, it's because he was working on Elden Ring.
I'm sure he was. Wink, wink. I sound like it's starting to sound more like he's the Tom Clancy of Ubisoft.
Dude, I saw this article. I saw this article real quick. Just sidebar. I saw this article regarding that, and he said. It's actually a recent article too, but it was something along the lines that he didn't think that the show would get past him in the books, and because of that, by the time he started to kind of get into the books and the show got past him, it became difficult for him to continue writing, because now the book's already past him. The show's already past him. Excuse me. So it's like, sorry to say it, guys, but A Song of Fire and Ice is not going to be finished. So if you want the ending, you can go to HBO for that shit.
And get the good ending.
and cry profusely when you see the shitty ass ending that they have. But anyway, sir, any final thoughts before we close this out?
As far as I think I said my piece. It was what I expected, and I'm satisfied. It is. It's better than nothing.
For sure. It's better than 2020's E3.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Exactly.
Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. As always, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there, and please like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone, wherever you are listening to us. This is Mad Dog signing off this week, saying I can't remember
Good
the line
night.
from Elden Ring.
And good
Shit.
mental health.
Good night and good mental health, apparently, because that's all I got.
I helped you there.
Thank you, sir. Mr. David Santos, aka Dream Twister. Take us home.
Let me give you some food for thought real quick here. If you guys haven't watched In the Heights, I will highly recommend you go ahead and watch this. It is a great movie. Even if you don't like musicals, like put that aside, just fucking watch it. Man up, it's gonna be fine.
He's a man.
Or Woman Up. My wife is not a fan of musicals, and she liked it. You know,
She
you know, I
womaned
have
up.
to. She womaned up exactly. And y'all know that this is based on a Broadway play, which I have discovered the most amazing thing, and that is the Japanese version of In the Heights. There's a Japanese version, not of the movie, but of the show. You know, obviously of the Broadway show
Broadway play.
and of the Broadway play, and it has. You know, obviously the same music, and it's just an incredible sight to behold. Watching this, Japanese actors playing the roles of like
Latinos, yeah.
In general, it is, especially
It's
when they
spectacular,
interject.
It's spectacular.
It is. It's
really
something else to try to. They will say a phrase in Spanish in very good Spanish. I would say. Well, you might kill it here or there, but for the most part, it was pretty good. And then they'll just continue in Japanese. It'll be a guy selling piraguas with his card that says piraguas.
Yeah, with a Puerto Rican flag on it.
With a Puerto Rican flag.
It's so
No
freaking
less.
cool. Yeah, I really.
And
You sent them
yes.
to me, and I'm not even gonna lie, dude. It really brought tears. I was just like, to see, you know, I don't know, just to see that the culture, Latino culture, to reach those areas, the way, Asian cultures reach us, it's just like, oh, that's so cool, man. It's so cool. And they did justice to that freaking play too.
Yeah, it's very well, and apparently it's still ongoing. It's still a thing. We're gonna have to check this thing out.
I think so. I think when we go to Japan, we're gonna have to. Yeah,
we're gonna have to check this thing out, exactly. And it's hilarious because when you sent me that you were in tears, I thought that you were just on the floor laughing.
No. I was moved. I was just like, to see that. You know what I mean? To see that it's. I don't know.
Transcended.
Yeah, it transcends the barrio. You know what I mean? Not so far that it goes to a culture that is so foreign to that.
Yes, to the concept of it. It's so
It's so it's beautiful. I thought it was beautiful. I was just like, I loved it. My wife was like, "Oh, cultural appropriation." I was like, "Whatever. They can appropriate what they want, as far as I'm concerned."
Oh, that's awesome! Damn it, your wife wins again.
I know. Always.
She actually
man,
closed the show.
For sure. And on that note, we'll see you guys next week. GG!
What the hell? I can use a couple wings.